If this is your first time or your usual time with us, then welcome to XboxEra. We provide a platform for the Xbox community from our forums and Discord, our main site with the latest news and reviews, and our podcasts like the XboxEra Podcast and You Have Me at Halo. We exist, our focus on the Xbox platform front and centre, because so many media publications out there don't. We love this community and believe Xbox really can be the very best place to play. If you love what we do, help us. You can join as a YouTube member, or even better, subscribe to us on Patreon. You help us grow and get plenty of perks to enjoy as a token of our appreciation. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. And as always, thanks for sticking around. This podcast is brought to you by executive producers Torn Raptor and Top. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 173 of the XboxEra Podcast, the Xbox-centric publication funded by and for our community. If this is your first time with us, welcome. If your usual time with us, welcome back. If you love what we do, as always, please support us directly on Patreon. You can do that by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra. We've actually had like 12 new patrons in the last 10, 12 days, which is nice. One of them being the wonderful Randall 419.
Yeah, I saw that too. I messaged him. I'm like, what's up with that?
It is nice. It is nice. But as always, I'm joined by the man who is so far gone, he's down under. It's Special Nick.
What's going on?
And as always, Jesse is here as well, reviews editor for XboxEra. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. It means a lot.
Good, good. How's the connection woes?
I mean, the download's insane. The upload's mediocre. Pretty much what it's been. I think I tested it earlier today. And it was about 400 down and 6 up, which is still, it's just a little not good enough to be able to locally host things. God damn it.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Before we went live, his camera was like super clean.
Rock
his
solid.
voice was coming through, unreal. The second now we've gone live, his camera quality's turned to garbage. He's cutting in and out when he talks. It's like, oh my God.
Cool. It's not too bad. Hey, before we kick things off and talk about what we've been playing, we got a super chat from
Gary Barwick. Yep. So, Jon and Jesse, exactly how much sleep have you been getting? Well, that leads in nicely to what have we been playing? Are we allowed to talk about
We're allowed to say we have been playing. We're not allowed. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yep. So it's nice. For once, we're actually allowed to say we're playing it and when the embargo is, which is not normally the case.
I love it when publishers do that. They're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just don't. But unfortunately, the hype is so high. Some kiddos out there can't help themselves, can they, Jesse? They can't help themselves. They're
Especially
like,
the ones that like they seem to get off on it. Like there's one guy, I won't say the name, but he also leaked a bunch of Half-Life Alyx stuff when he wasn't supposed to. And it's like, I understand thinking the system's kind of dumb and not wanting to be a huge part of it, but to get just a little bit of like clout, you really screw yourself over because the PR company won't want to work with you ever again. Secondly, you screw everyone else over who is, actually abiding by we do embargoes, but I know like the press, the influencer and creator side, they more get NDAs because those are more strict and companies don't trust them. So just if you agree to it, you should abide by it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Accurate.
So I guess that leads into what have we been playing then?
Well, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Because I'm allowed to talk so I forgot last week, so I'll remember for this week.
Yeah.
I've been playing Quake 2.
Oh.
Oh man. Like if a game is good and it'll hold up. Now, while there's exceptions to the rule, if your game doesn't hold up, there's a relatively decent chance it might not have actually been that good to begin with. But Quake 2, man, I was slightly concerned because of how old Quake 2 is, and I thought, oh, maybe I was fairly young when Quake 2 came out. I thought, oh god, maybe it's just not gonna hold up. Man, that shit is still so good.
And that is like a perfect remastered port where it looks great, it runs great, it's just been modernized enough to feel the way you remembered it, but it's actually better.
It, yes.
Yeah, and the new content's really good. Like they gave it new content that's very good.
Yeah, it's perfect when they do that. When they remake or remaster a game in a way that makes it's the way you remember it, even though I'm sure if you actually went and played OG Quake 2, it would not be that good. But it makes you feel like how you remember it being back then. It's just, man, it's so good. And all the little details that I had forgotten about because it's been so long since I've played it. Like how body parts, like the bodies get damage as you keep shooting at them and eventually break into pieces. And kind of like how GoldenEye had, but I can't remember if Quake 2 came before GoldenEye or not. I think it did. I want to say it did. When did Quake 2 come out?
GoldenEye was 1997, was it not?
96 or 97. Quake 2 was 97. Wow, so they both came out.
The rendering capabilities on a Voodoo graphics card, though.
The Voodoo graphics card, mate.
Cool boy.
But yeah, like it was cool the way you'd shoot the big dudes in the head and they just pull their trigger and hold it there and down they go and they'd shoot at you. Then the other guys would like try and get a last shot out, and the level design is unbelievable. I love it when I'm playing a video game and I'm going around in a level that's kind of mazy, and then you wind up back in this spot you recognize. You're like, holy crap, this all links together so well. And just
it's almost Metroidvania-esque in some of the ways the paths lead back out.
You could go all the way back to the start, and it's great. And I mean, I remember I adored Quake 2 back in 97. I say I was young. Turns out I was 17. I remember adoring Quake 2 back then, and just still so good now. Took me some time to adjust to how fast it is. Like the movement is so fast.
I'm too old now.
Crazy fast. It only took me about 5 minutes to adjust. I was fine after that.
I'll probably give it a download and
you should.
In time.
It's only tiny. What else? I went all Jesse yesterday in Fortnite and just played for hours to finally get Optimus Prime, because the battle pass ends on the 25th. So I think the 26th may be my time, and it's the 20th today. So me and my son were just smashing it out yesterday. Went from level 82 to level 100 in a few hours, and finally unlocked Optimus Prime. and all his bits and pieces. So good. But that's it.
That's it.
That's it, really.
Wow. I mean, Jesse, you've been...
Yeah, well, I had a review come out this week. I can talk about that.
Yeah.
Before we get into we can hit a super chat up on the next game that you and I are playing. We still can't say anything about it. But I put out a review this week for Shadow Gambit, which is awesome. That game rules. If you ever played... If you ever played was it Shogun Tactics or I forget.
Yeah.
And Desperados 3, which came out on Game Pass, or was in Game Pass for a while. Mimimi games they're pretty much real-time strategy games where you're in full control of people in real time, but you can pause it at any time, plan out a move on each person, sync them all up, and just do really cool shit. Nice. You got a group of ever-growing group of pirates who you are bringing back from the dead. Pretty much the impetus of the game is you're a new pirate, you join a magic ship called the Red Marley, you're looking for black pearls and doing missions to bring everyone back to life to find a treasure. It's a very pirate-themed, the Lost Caribbean, like very macabre, but a little tiny bit goofy in a good way, not like an unfunny way, but the actual gameplay. On controller, you just directly control their movement. On mouse and keyboard, you click and they go where you click. Both ways work and feel good. It's super polished, looks really nice, good sound, actually pretty good voice acting, which those games don't always have. I gave it a 9, and I'm very close to the Metacritic on it. It's like 85, I think. It rules.
Macabre.
It's only like $30-$40. It's not full price. I think it's 40.
It's one of those things that game is going to get lost this year. I mean, and it's a great year
games too.
For games. It's an odd one.
I'm hoping that they do get it on Game Pass like they got Desperados, because that would give it a shot in the arm that it deserves.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a game that deserves a little bit more love. Because I think the PR team were quite bullish on it, weren't they? They were like, "This is really good," and we were like, "Okay, we'll check it out."
Yeah. I was more, can I fit it in? Because I've got another thing I can't talk about or even say I have coming next week. So got another thing next week, and I was trying to fit it in before that and fit it in before possibly having to do Immortals of Avium, because we didn't get that one until pretty late. But now Soul Blazers is doing it. So I'm really happy I was able to get it in, because it's been the best thing that I've already put out a review for this month. It's awesome.
I'm sad I didn't get to do...
I was going to say, what's the thing you've got that you can't say? Would you say it's from a certain software developer?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that, no.
He wouldn't. What was it? Yeah, I was looking forward to playing Immortals of Avium, because it looks kind of goofy and weird and silly and like one of those
concept.
One and done. Well, I'm most curious about, shooting guns in games has been a thing we've been doing for a long, long time. And when a studio doesn't nail that and like the impact and the feel of it, it's very apparent. Like I think Redfall for me, the guns at the time feel good, but aiming them didn't feel right, and it still doesn't. And it's like,
it's the thing with Arcane and controllers. They nail mouse and keyboard. They do not nail controllers. I'm just using that as an example, and I was very curious to see how the whole magic as a gun from your hand would feel. But unfortunately, I'm flying out to Germany in like 32 hours, so there was just no way. We got the code way too late for me to do it. So Soul Blazers has stepped up and is working on that. And yes, obviously, Jesse and I are playing some space games coming out soon.
Flying through
and I will say,
field of stars.
So I'm gonna click into this super chat, but we as a channel are not going to cover any leaks, because that really pisses PR off. We have agreed to an embargo to not talk about anything. So I'll put this up. There is a main menu up there. Nick said he thinks it's ugly on Twitter. We'll leave it at that.
Hold on, let's talk about it. Okay, so
no, we're not supposed to talk about leaks.
I'm not talking about any leaks. Mohammed Sherez warning everyone. Hope it's a great stream. Also, Starfield's menu means the game is bad. That's a joke. Nick's ultimate fanboy. Yeah. Yes, that Grimm's person. So that menu screen, was that not supposed to be shown on Twitter?
Nothing has meant
Nothing is supposed to be shown on Twitter.
Really?
So. Yeah, no. There's been multiple people just putting up pictures from various parts of the game, which is very bad.
So I
Please
can't
don't do
give
it if
my
you agree.
opinion on that menu screen.
We're not going to talk about leaks at all. No, as someone as a website who agreed to the embargo, we are not going to.
Yeah. Apart from saying everything's really stupid and people shouldn't get complaining about silly things. We got another super chat though that's quite fun.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, and I'm not going to talk about the menu screen. All I'm going to say is that the discussion around a menu screen, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, anyone who goes over the top and equates the design of a menu screen to, like, development process and all that sort of stuff, that's stupid.
Yes,
but
it is.
Talking about the design of a menu screen in and of itself is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no. Talking about the aesthetics of it is fine. It's just the discussion almost entirely started from this menu screen looks rushed angle from that guy.
Yes,
which is
no,
just
I
like,
know.
who
I
cares?
saw that tweet.
Yeah.
I saw that tweet where it was like, oh, the team was either rushed or just didn't care. That's stupid. I understand that. But menu screens are very
Once the
important.
game is out, once the game is out, we'll talk about that screen that most of us will be on for 2 seconds a week.
Like the one I hope 343 goes back to for Infinite, the one from the 2020 demo.
If you want to talk about that, there's a reason, and I did not know this. There is a reason the Halo Infinite menu is the way it is. It's actually deliberate, and it is all about accessibility. That is the reason. And so I might not agree with all the decisions from an aesthetic point of view.
Go into detail. What does that mean?
I can't remember where I read it, and I'll have to go dig it out. Maybe we can have another discussion about it. But to my knowledge, I think, and maybe someone watching can go and find this out. But it was something to do with they did there was a talk about how certain size of font, and that's why we lost. In Reach, you had the ability to see everybody in the fire team on one screen, and it made sense. But now everything seems really convoluted and overly large and unnecessary, wasting space. And it's something from my perspective. But the reason for the design is something to do with legibility, accessibility, being able to understand.
I'm talking about the front screen. I'm talking about the front screen where you just press start to get into the menu.
Oh, well, I mean...
So in the 2020 demo, we had that gorgeous nighttime scene
ring
with the thing. Yes. That was quite literally the best part of that 2020 demo. And then when the game came out, we just got that boring, here's a shot of the forest during the day. Here's your menu.
They've updated all those now. I don't know how long
I know.
Been since
the new one's okay. The new one's okay, where you're looking down that shaft.
Well, they changed depending upon what section. So if you go into campaign, you get the chief in the back.
Yes,
of
I know.
Pelican, and then if you go into,
I know.
I like that.
I still hope they go back to that 2020 demo menu screen though. That thing was just beautiful.
And for people asking in the chat, I'm doing the main review. John's also playing to give this is my first Bethesda game impressions and maybe make some pretty videos and stuff. We got lots of plans to try and have content around the embargo, which is the 31st at, was it noon Eastern US, I believe.
Yeah. And it is quite nice. I think anyone that's ever reviewed a game, if you're the only person playing it in a team of people and you want to be like, hey, Jesse has been bugged by me for a lot because it's my first genuine, I've
been bugged by a lot of media people who haven't played a Bethesda game before.
Well, this is the thing. I've played plenty of Bethesda games, but I've always kind of just been like, oh, yeah, okay, it's too much for me. I can't do it. But I've been bugging Jesse a lot with, how do I do this? And often it's like, simple answers from Jesse, but it's nice to have that rapport back and forth. So we're looking forward to producing as much content. I am 99.999% sure that out of all of the video reviews you're going to see online on YouTube, Jesse's will be the most comprehensive, have the best gameplay footage across all of the platforms that he is playing it on, and our review would probably be the best of the best in terms of production value. I have zero doubt.
And a score I 100% don't end up agreeing with.
Perhaps so, but we'll see.
But
We'll
your
see.
opinion also won't matter at all because you will never even load the game up, let alone play it for more than 5 minutes.
That's true.
It would be like my score for Super Mario Brothers Wonder. It would mean nothing because I'm not going to play it.
Spoiler alert. That's well above a 9. That one.
We've got another super chat from Southmole.
Yes. No,
There was actually one
we have
before
a super
that,
chat
too.
from
Yeah.
Trev
Oh, was
G.
it? My goodness.
We have a
Oh,
super
sorry,
chat.
Trev. I'm sorry.
Yeah, an Australian super chat, Australian $10 super chat. Morning
like
all,
50
and
quid.
g'day to the 3 Xbox era guys. Don't think there is a way to say how much you are appreciated. Absolutely hanging for the podcast every week. Thanks, Trev.
You know, it's funny. We were just chatting about this before we went live, right? Are we fun? Are we fun to hang around with? Like, we realised that we've taken the approach of being a publication. So aside from Nick's somewhat acerbic persona, which is just his natural handsomeness and ego coming forward, right? We are who we are. There's no character here. Like, we're not playing a person. We're just 3 dudes that love video games and happen to chat about them every week. But we notice that a lot of the how do we say this without sounding like dicks or sounding salty as fuck? A lot of the more exuberantly drama-filled Twitter console wars type hosts and shows often get a lot more live viewership, whereas we find that our live viewership is lower, but our podcast's tail that it's watched throughout the week and on our audio platforms on Apple and Spotify. Thank you for those audio listeners. We love you guys. Are much better. And we wonder why that is. Like, is it just, our show is one you're just happy to listen to around the house? Is it because it's not? I don't know.
I think it's, like I said, I think it's simpler than that. I just think we're not that
cool.
likable.
We're
Just not that likable. I think it's just way simpler than that. I don't think it's...
You say we, I think a lot of people would just say, just say there's one main unlikable.
I don't know. A lot of Americans don't like the haughty Brit, The
lowest viewed episodes are the ones I'm not on, mate. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, I may not be likable, but clearly I'm somewhat likable because the lowest episodes are the ones without me. So, I don't know.
He's got us there, Jesse. He has got us there.
That's the numbers. That's the numbers.
But hey, while we're speaking about being likable, hit that like button, please, everybody that's watching. All 200 plus of you, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. The chopped liver of the podcast world. We appreciate you spending some time with us, some quality time. So hit that like button so that we really
There's more
feel
super
the
chats
love.
already. This is
I
a
know,
very
more.
strong start
Strong
with super
start.
chats. Southmole.
This is a fun
Starfield
one.
is out in the wild. Gaz from Game On Daily has thrown Colt under the bus and totally busted his NDA. He is loving it and cannot contain himself.
Oh dear.
Well, that's the thing.
We-
Gaz game shares. Colt game shares with Gaz, which is, like if Colt needs to understand that if he's now going to start getting these codes and be under NDAs and embargoes and this and the other, he might need to cancel that game sharing.
Yeah.
If he can't
Or
control
perhaps-
Gaz, which I'm going to guess he's not going to be able to.
It's technically. I don't really want. I like Colt. I like Gaz, right? But let's just say game sharing isn't.
But we have committed.
legit.
Yeah,
What do you mean it's
We
not
have
legit?
committed.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's not. It's against the terms of
of
service. Is someone in your household is who you're supposed to game share with by their rules. They just do not strictly enforce it.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're not
It's like
meant
that for everyone.
to share your.
Don't get me wrong. I game share with my son. So
Yeah,
that
of course.
I'm
I
not
game
gonna
share
buy-
with my
I'm
son.
not going to buy
Yeah.
2 copies of games.
Yeah, it's perfectly legit when it's in the same household, kind of like how Netflix wants to do it. But unlike
I
Netflix,
did
they're
not know
not
that.
trying to. Yeah, they always cover themselves legally just in case anything ever has to change for the future. Because technically, with Xbox, you kind of get a lot of game sharing where you also can do it on PC at the same time. So they're very relaxed with it, but still they have their protocols written down in case things ever need to change.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know it had to be same house, but anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those
Us-
things. It's like the flying to New Zealand thing. Like
Yeah.
they probably don't want you to do that, but they also know that fans kind of like being able to do it, so they're not going to do anything about
And
it.
And
They're
the number
only-
of people doing it would be tiny.
Exactly.
in terms of the overall.
They're more concerned if you're going to try and circumvent spending the right amount of money on a game. So, like, if you go to Turkey and you spend, $12 Australian for a $50 game, they will most likely ban you. But if you go to New Zealand to play something you paid your normal price for, either through Game Pass or buying the game early, they won't care.
Yeah.
They it is against,
that, by the way.
Yeah.
I had bought a game years ago called Last Fight. I bought it from the US. I switched my account over to US and bought it because it wasn't available in Australia. And about 2 months ago, a month or 2 months ago, all of a sudden I noticed that all the games that I had got from other stores disappeared from my owned list. So I got that Ben-Hur game that had 1,000 achievement points. It was a free game. I attached it from the US. I bought Last Fight because I couldn't get that in Australia. They all just disappeared from my own list.
Shit.
And then about, I don't know, I think with the new Dash or something like that, bang, it all came back. It all came back. I know, which I was like,
there's a thing we're going to get into in the news later, which will actually probably have something to do with this.
Maybe.
It definitely is the reason why you kept losing older games, is this news story.
It might have been.
Well, one more super chat.
There's another super chat from Mohammed Sharez. An ex-game dev breeding toxicity. Sad to see. Yeah, that dude's ex-Blizzard, isn't he?
Yeah, and
I think he was Diablo.
Weird about it.
He just seems a bit
he was
salty.
a gamer.
So I'm just assuming that didn't end well. Like, all his tweets are just laced with bitterness and that
his
sort
last
of thing.
thing was it was a Kickstarter. Was it WildStar? His last thing crashed and burned, and ever since then, he's definitely, whenever I've seen him online, seemed that way.
I just want to call out the chat. That they're not super chats, but there's some nice comments here. I don't know if you've been reading this. If you weren't fun to hang around with, we wouldn't be here. I also can't wait for the podcast. Scourge666, Trev G. I definitely see each of you very uniquely engaging and off the cuff, as well as telling it like it is. This is all very refreshing. I think the fact you don't peddle negativity in console wars like every other podcast, Mohammed. I mean, that's our stance, right? We don't want to do all that stuff. And we know that we could be at like 50, 60,000 subscribers by leaning into that, but we would be pretending to be that person, and that's not really who we are. So
and our relationships with the PR companies we work with are really good because we don't go that direction.
Yeah.
Pick a trick. Look at Pick a Trick. Pick a Trick goes, it has XboxEra is an essential podcast. It has a toilet break, aka Name a Game. Lol. Name a Game's like the best part. Name a Game is the best part.
Pick a Trick. What the hell are you smoking, my man?
Come on. I love listening to morning radio and hearing them do like game shows like that, because I get involved and I like try to answer the questions myself and stuff. That's like the best part.
I'm sure
I like how you skipped all the other stuff. Like, Nick is fun, entertaining. Nick is
I didn't skip.
best.
I didn't scroll the way up. But yes.
Sure.
I ended up watching some of our shorts the other day that Creaky Legs did. I need to pester him to do more of them because, man, some of them had me in tears. The Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part 2.
Anyway, speaking of the news, let's go through the news. There's all of the news.
Speaking of how hungry I am.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
Jesse,
We'll do that.
Hey, Jesse, have you got a shaker there that we definitely didn't see last week?
This is the first time I'm showing this brand new shaker they got.
This is the first time ever that this shaker's being shown. It definitely was not accidentally shown last week for a few seconds.
And it definitely has been full of banana split and chocolate to keep me awake during long gaming sessions in Starfield recently.
Now, you guys know, right? Like, I've told the story. I was already drinking Control for years before they jumped on board the XboxEra podcast. Like, that's the sort of person I am. I would like to have a sponsor that I actually use the product. And, you know, I talk about Control a lot. And they as a company, I think they've only been around for like 4 years. And they've already done a pretty decent job establishing themselves with gamers and all that sort of stuff. And that shaker is like, they call it the Trademark Shaker. That's sort of the embodiment of everything, I guess, the company stands for and stuff. And with that shaker, which I've got this one, I'd like to get a hold of that one, so I may talk to...
They call it the blender bottle.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the blender bottle. Mine says that too. But I want that one there because that one's quite nice. I like the color on it.
Can you speak to the guy and get some stuff sent out to me so I can try this? Like,
no, it's all mine.
oh,
sorry.
Okay.
Are they in the UK? I think they are.
No, they're not. They do they distribute through someone else in the UK, which is the same in Australia, but that might be changing soon. But yes, that shaker there, you get it for free with any order over $50. So use our code XboxEra. So www.drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra. Use our code for the 10% off, and any order over $50, you get that shaker for free with it. The Trademark Shaker. And they're genuinely good shakers. They're like solid as. They don't feel cheap and flimsy. They're actually like legit solid shakers. They're good.
But if people wanted to get control for themselves, where could they get it, Nick?
I just said that. www.drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra. I literally just said that.
I literally didn't hear it.
You're not listening.
Your camera's doing some weird things for me right now. I don't know.
Is it?
Nick has been running pretty poorly for me. You keep pausing.
Yeah,
Really?
your audio kind of. I'm not sure if it's stopping or not, but it's confusing at times.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah.
On
control.
my end, it's fine.
Yeah, it always looks good on your end because you're just seeing your direct feed.
Okay.
Sent you a
Nick's
DM.
camera
Nick.
is going to sleep.
I'm angry. But it's not about the show.
We've got one more super chat
Okay.
before we get into the news because the train ain't stopping.
Just running a speed test. I'm going at 900 down.
Yeah,
I think
it's just
it's because
sometimes
we're recording the
up.
audio in StreamYard.
Could
That's
be.
what I think it is.
It's worth it. It sounds so good though.
It does sound really good, like last week's episode. Let us know, actually, chat. Like if you're an audio listener, last week's episode was a direct, so everyone's got the direct mic MP3 instead of the YouTube's interpretation of what we're uploading to StreamYard. And I thought the audio levels were way nicer last week than usual. So yeah, well, we'll try it again this week, but it does seem to be causing some hijinks, some shenanigans, some ballyhoo. With Nick's camera and other things, but yeah. Anyway, last super chat, Nick. Before we get into the news, you want to read that one out, buddy? Oh, buddy,
Jordan Ando, £10 super chat. Quick question: 2023 has been a year of fantastic games. Has the fact that there are so many great games had a negative impact on the hype interest level of individual games, like oversaturation? Maybe.
It's just been even with people not having much money, it still has been a really great year for actual game revenue. So I don't think so. Like if you want to go, we're super tied in, and so we maybe get burnt out a little bit, but the public at large is spending more than ever.
Yeah, I kind of like speaking personally. It's a great year for video games for lots of different genres, but there's not actually been a huge amount that is personally like right up my alley. So I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most for the whole year is Cocoon, which I'm hoping to try at Gamescom in the indie booth, presumably next week.
Party animals.
Party animals. I can't talk about that. I sent you a DM.
You serious?
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I can mention it.
As if I don't get a code of that. As if I don't get a code for Party Animals.
This is a conversation to have offline. It's not what you think.
Yeah, it's not about review code. We're on the list for that. Where's John going next week?
I'm going to Gamescom.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's what
about that.
Yeah. Anyway,
also, not just Party Animals, Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yeah, that's not going to be at the Xbox booth.
Sonic Superstars. Ooh.
But that's what I mean. Like, there's so many great games like Baldur's Gate, Starfield, all of this stuff coming out. Everyone's getting all excited and hyped. And I'm just sitting there like, where's that little indie Cocoon game coming out? Because that's what I want to play.
Yeah,
Go figure.
That looks that looks nice.
And
but
how
once
do I
saw
actually
it,
get on
was
the
like,
Liza P list?
Yeah, yeah, I'll try and bug that guy. Yeah, different strokes for different folks. And I think that's a good thing. Cater for as many people as possible. Everyone's served.
So in the chat, I just saw South Mall go Stumble Guys for the win, which is that knockoff Wish.com Fall Guys.
Yeah.
So Brad Ward Fight Ward on Twitter.
Brad Ward Fight.
He pointed me to a Rocket League knockoff that's on the PlayStation Store. It's called like Rocket Cars something. And I watched the video on it. It's like $15, and I watched the video on it. It was pretty funny. It is. It's just like it's kind of just Wish.com Rocket League.
Amazing.
It's not too bad. Like it doesn't look that bad, but you can see it doesn't quite have the polish,
the pizzazz.
Yeah.
Fun. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about first of all what's coming to Game Pass this week or these next 2 weeks, I suppose. We got Firewatch coming back. Gris, I think has been on before. Both of those have, right?
I think first time for Greece, but it's returning for
Greece.
Firewatch. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Return for Firewatch. Yeah. We got Sea of Stars. We got Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming out on Game Pass, and
it's reviewing
Everspace
well.
2.
Also reviewing well.
Yeah, and Everspace 2, like it's on our list, and it's probably one I would do as the seemingly the space combat sci-fi guy. I played a fair bit of Everspace 1, but I was quite upfront with the PR guys. I was like, that's great when I get around to it. So
I think they got a lot of that from people because this month, September and October, it never stops. So
they were quite understanding. But I will get something together for Everspace 2 because I do want to give it a go. But it's funny that they did an article on Xbox Wire specifically on Everspace 2, and I think that the tagline was "Everyone gets a better game because of Game Pass." And if you have never played an Everspace game before, it was kind of like a roguelite.
Extremely light. Yeah, it's got roguelite. It's the type Nick likes where it's got those elements to kind of mix up gameplay a little bit. Yeah. But it's not like a run based thing. It's a mission thing.
But that was Everspace 1. Everspace 2 is more open world RPG almost. So it's like a 30-hour campaign. It looks really, really interesting. It was in early access or game preview on PC for a while, and now the console version has launched. But Everspace 1 was great, and I'm expecting Everspace 2 to play equally nicely. So yeah, I will check it out. But some good stuff coming to Game Pass. If you've never played Firewatch before and you're into your slow walk and talk indie games, your walking simulators, that's a really great one. Great mood. They were bought by, who were they bought by? Apple?
I thought it was Valve.
Valve? No, it was Valve. You're right. Yeah, I knew it was someone.
I thought it was Valve.
And I've heard good things about Sea of Stars as well.
From who?
And Gris is fantastic. So this is a solid little lineup.
Gris is so... And where is it? Mixed de Ficto. I was the same. When I first saw Greece, I just assumed it was pronounced gris, like French gris. But apparently the devs on Twitter were like, no, it's pronounced Greece. I'm like, really?
Greece, not Gris.
Yeah, it's pronounced Greece, which I found interesting, as in the country.
It's like when
where
the guy
I really miss
and you're just wrong about how you pronounce your thing you invented, right?
Yeah, that's how.
This is where I really wish I could have the Greek flag come up right now.
But yeah, like I just assumed that it was pronounced gris, like French, and then the dev on Twitter was like, "No, it's Greece." I'm like, really interesting. Oh, such a beautiful game. I've got it on Switch. It's like, oh my god, the wallpapers you could make for your Dash with that.
Yeah, man. Beautiful game. Beautiful game.
Speaking of
Dash Watch.
Dash watch.
We got
finally
it!
have the new dashboard. Oh my god. God only knows how long I've had the dash for. Like, probably had it for a while.
No, so it's not just restarting. It's they do have to push it for you to get it. You don't have to download anything ever. So even if they could have been giving it to you an hour before you restarted. Like, you just don't know.
Okay.
Do you know what? Like, they broke my Xbox. My Xbox was going really weird. Like, I was on the main menu and I had the old dash, so all the big boxes. I was like, but where's my stock? Like, everything's missing. And I couldn't add anything to home. It kept going, no, the groups are full. I was like, I've not got anything added. It's like it's all been deleted. And it was at this point I was like, oh, I wonder if it's new dash related. And I did another restart. And then when I rebooted it, it was all just there. And everything came back to life and worked. So I was like, oh, I do quite like it. It has made me, you know, as we saw a couple of weeks back, Anorexic made a 4K XboxEra logo like dashboard for your Xbox, and it has made me want to go, oh, hey, Pre-Drag, could you put together some nice 4K, you know, variety using some of our logos and stuff, and maybe we can just post them to the Patreon for people to grab on a USB stick and use on their home Xboxes to represent the best Xbox publication out there. Yeah, just saying.
So are we going to talk about the new dash now that we've all got it?
Do you like it?
No,
you don't like it. Okay. What don't you like?
I like the home screen.
Yeah,
the home screen itself is fine, visually.
Yeah,
but I don't know why they had to wreck everything else around it. Like, I get it. Oh, it's an ad for Game Pass. That's fine. I don't care. I don't want it to be an ad for Game Pass. Like, all my pins are gone except for one set, and now it's just a bunch of all this other junk. Like, all they had to do was change that initial home screen, and even that initial home screen, it's like they've got a store button at the top, but then they've also got the store tile in the bottom left, but then they've also got a store link. Yeah, sometimes it becomes My Games and Apps. It's just...
Yeah, it's really weird.
So then you've got My Games and Apps there twice. It's like, those little icons at the top are great. And I love the fact that now when I go to settings, it doesn't appear as a tile in my... I love that.
Yeah.
But...
It almost always comes down to focus testing, and it's for people who don't understand how to use these things very well, especially in a time where they're expecting to sell a lot of them for people that haven't been in the ecosystem for Starfield, and they don't know the UI at all, and so they're trying to just make everything as big and obvious as they can, as well as being an advertisement. So it ends up looking aesthetically, and for us, it's not as functional as it could be because they're getting things.
Yeah.
I agree. Why would you
Nick.
have the store there twice?
I think this is some weird crossover, because this, as Jesse said, this is all internet fed, and I have a feeling that is going to clear up eventually, because it makes sense to me, right? I've got the store at the top, that's always there. Sure, if you want to put a load of Game Pass fluff and you just scroll down and you just see Game Pass stuff as the dash, it's fine. I never go down. I'll always go to directly what I'm looking for. I never go browsing and pinning things. It's just not how I use the console. I go to either My Games and Apps, and I'll go look for the specific thing I want, or I will just be loading straight into what I'm playing right now. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I can understand all of your concerns and frustrations.
That's
I
fine,
hope that
but
it gets sorted.
Even the My Games and Apps, though, it's there twice.
Yeah, it's really
why?
Weird. That's what I think. It's an error. I don't think this is by design. I think there's some kinks in
No, I think it's a telemetry thing, and they're waiting to see who uses what more, and then that wins.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Like, you can tell the way they're rolling it out. Well, no, it's just they're a heavily data-driven company, and they're going to look at how are people going to use something when we change it, and that's the main metric. Like, sending them messages or talking to people is never going to be as useful to them as a couple million people actually using it. And okay, how do you use it? Okay, that's what we'll focus on.
Makes sense. That's a good.
Visually, it's nice. Visually, like, I've got the Diablo background now, and it's gorgeous, and you can see Lilith. Is her name Lilith?
Mm-hmm.
And and I made my color red to match with it, and it looks visually looks really nice. I just wish they didn't. Like, that's fine. You want those tiles to be ads. You want them to be whatever. That's fine. Just don't double up on what they're linking to. Don't give me 2 store links on the same front page. Like, you have those cool little icons at the top. That's fine. Make those tiles at the bottom what they are. Like, you know how sometimes one of the tiles is, this is the achievement you're closest to.
Yeah.
Then another tile is, this is your Game Pass. You don't need the Game Pass perks anymore because the Game Pass logo's up the top.
Yeah.
So make that tile...
They love adverts, though. That's the thing.
Make it
those boxes they've said before are massive drivers for stuff. Reminding people directly of things is way more effective than just having someone who knows you can get to it quickly by using a shortcut. Like, you might know that, but they're trying to push it. They want to push people into this stuff as hard as they can. So they're going to sacrifice some potential functionality for power users to push what they want.
Yeah.
So they probably agree with you. I doubt that most of the people in the UI team would disagree with you. It just comes down to how do not us, how do the masses end up using something? And they end up using it kind of like a phone, and they have to be constantly hit over the head, or else out of sight, out of mind. You don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the ads in principle. I've never had a major problem with the ads in principle. For me, it's more the doubling up of stuff on that home screen. Like, if you're going to put the store tile down the bottom, then don't have the icons at the top. Get rid of those and make it look even cleaner. It's just...
frustrates you.
Like
I can sense it. I can sense the frustration.
I know, this stuff bothers me. I was a graphic designer, so this stuff... it irks me when I see it.
To coin the phrase, it makes your shit itch.
It's just, yeah. It's so close. What's frustrating is that this current dash is so close to being right that the fact that it's not makes it more frustrating.
Yeah.
Because it's so close.
Do you know what might cheer you up?
The $10 from Ray Oid?
Yeah, and I did ask him. I was like, "Hey, did you want to say something? Because that's a fair super chat, that is." And he said, "Hey, just showing some support. So much love, Ray. Really appreciate it.
We definitely need that support after John. If you're a Kickstarter backer, you know why."
Well, hey, look, shall we touch on that for a moment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
If you didn't see it, and shall I go get one? Because they are really cool. Should we go?
Please
shall I go get one now? Yeah,
go get it.
Mm-hmm. I'll go get it. Give me one moment, caller.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Go get it.
Oh, we'll do the super chat while you're gone. Just need it to pop up.
Look how the viewership just went up. Bang. Straight away.
We got a super chat.
Good old Collingwood. Greece is an ID at Xbox game, and the devs are Latin American. No, I know. They're like Nomada Dev or something like that. Their name is Nomada Dev or something like. And then New Game. They have a new game coming, and it looks quite gorgeous. Unless I'm confused.
And for anyone,
with someone else.
For people who are going to ask who didn't back the Kickstarter, we're looking into potentially having this for sale after, right, John? We have no idea yet.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So to give you the nutshell,
the damage is on the front, by the way. I saw you in the video questioning the damage. It's underneath the. Yeah, it's underneath there somewhere.
Oh, no.
I remember seeing it.
Is it on the actual book?
In the video. No, not on the book. It's not on the book.
Either way, this is a copy that was deemed to have a error with it and that we couldn't send out. So, nutshell, I'm going to Gamescom next week, as we mentioned, and I'm meeting with some business folks because, hey, we kind of want to do this for a living, and getting some investors on board would be real helpful for that. So I've got some
actually see me on like more podcasts. Surely, don't people want to see me on more podcasts?
You'd think. So I'm doing some meetings, but as well as that, I am actually hand delivering one person's book to them who was a direct contributor to this project, which is Clobberall. But I'm taking a copy to kind of just show to some people about the kind of things that we can, when we have this community behind us, produce. But this is the super duper premium edition. And if you haven't watched the unboxing video I did earlier this week, very impromptu.
It's nice. Looks
it's
nice.
Incredible. Like the effort You've got the poster here. I won't like do the whole thing.
It's very nice that we don't have to do those poster board holders, and it's just in there like that.
There was the cheaper option, to be honest with you.
Yes, no, I'm saying that's why it's so much nicer. I'm sorry they're creased, but oh my god, we're a tiny group, and I think we trick people into thinking we've got a team and we've got money behind us, but we don't. We're just a bunch of people doing this in our spare time with no money outside of Patreon and YouTube. These super chats are unbelievably helpful because of this fucking book, and you can tell them why. John.
This book is like the delivery costs are crazy, so we're figuring that out. But the fact that I got to open this, I'd not seen the finished version before. I'd seen plenty of before the covers had been done, and I'd tested materials and stuff. But actually getting to unbox it myself for the first time was an incredible experience. And it's like when you open the Xbox Series X, you're like, this is really nicely done. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. The little label that just pushes the book. Oh, it's just like so many clever little touches. But that's
it's funny. Risk It for the Biscuit reached out to me and he's like, how did I not hear about this book? He's like, how can I buy one? I said, mate, you can't. It's Kickstarter only. But we are looking at potentially trying to get it out there to be able to buy. The
real gutting thing, and I'm trying not to make a mess or any noise, is the inside of this book has this lovely 20 years of Xbox kind of logo pattern thing. If we were to ship via Amazon self-publishing, Amazon don't let you print on the inside cover. So it'd just be a white page. And that makes me really sad. Because obviously we had a vision for this. This isn't just any old book. It is
Why do they not let you do that?
Just what they do. Like Predrag's been working with them like back and forth, submitting things and all this sort of stuff. He's actually getting something else sent out to me, which he's having to get shipped to the hotel I'm at. And if that is all successful, I will show that on next week's podcast from Germany, which will be fun. And hope to God that the hotel Wi-Fi holds up.
I'm supposed to be getting two of those books. I'm supposed to be getting 2 of those books.
Did you back as well? Yeah. So you'd get one of these as a staff member, and then you'd get whatever you backed it as.
I backed that.
Oh, you got the presentation one as well. Nice. You'll get 2 then.
I think.
Very nice.
I can't remember.
How many hundreds AU did you spend?
Yeah. It's expensive to ship to Australia, Nick. You sure you just
it was a long. It was a long time ago now. I'd have to check. I can't remember. It wasn't the standard one, but
I was talking to John, and he said that they forgot to charge you correctly for shipping, so you now owe 1,000 Australian shipping. You mind sending it over?
Fun time. Anyway, so that's book stuff. Other news: Xbox announced a American Indian Science and Engineering Society partnership for International Day of World's Indigenous Peoples. It's a partnership. They've got some rewards and stuff. So reward members in the United States can earn and donate points to organizations that support indigenous communities within Xbox. So there's AISES, there's First Nations Development Institute, and you can donate those points appropriately. And then they've also got some highlights on some of the games relating to folk tales and beliefs of Indigenous people. I think one of them is Scabma Snowfall from Red Stage Entertainment. Go check it out. And the link is on Xbox Wire if you want to have a read.
And
thanks Faisal for the 10 memberships.
And look, Ray Oid.
I'm getting one.
Ray Oid got one. It's like he has got good karma.
Look at that. Salva, Ray Oid, Emil. Anorexic. Radosky. Quicksilver.
Faisal's just glorious, isn't he?
You guys immediately get access to the hottest private podcast on the internet, Sick and Nick Flicks. I think the last one had like 10 views.
Did it?
Yeah,
it's like 20 or something.
Not even watching it. Maybe we don't need to do it anymore. No. I don't know. Yes.
Maybe we should try just for one of the episodes. Just for one. Just put it out there live like this one.
Get people tasting it.
Give people a little taste.
Well, I'm gonna put episode 1 live pretty soon, so people can see what it's like.
That's a good idea. But yeah, maybe you're right, Nick. Maybe we just need to get people understanding what they're missing out on. Some hot takes of the latest movies and some old ones. You know, that's great.
Hello, KSante.
We got to work out the next episode.
Not next Friday. Friday afterwards, I can do. That works for you.
Yeah,
but yeah, we do need to decide what we're gonna.
If we did that would be a great one because when is that? That's the
1st of September.
The day, essentially the day Starfield comes out. So we'll definitely have a lot of viewers then.
Okay. And there's no footy that weekend. There's the pre-finals bye that weekend, so there's no footy on.
Good.
Maybe if we do that.
What else? Okay, this one's a good one, and I'm curious what you guys think on this. So Microsoft, I think there's definitely been a lot of criticism thrown their way. They introduced an enforcement strike system. So what is it? It's a new
How
system.
easily abusable is this?
Well, I'm going to get into that in a second because I've already seen some stuff online. So it's a new system to educate players about enforcement severity, cumulative effect of multiple enforcements, i.e. if you keep being a dick, you have a number of strikes and you're out, and what it does to you when you're out. They can receive a total of 8 strikes, and each strike on their account remains on their record for 6 months. Each strike results in a suspension from Xbox social features for a varying length of time. Each player will begin with a blank slate or 0 strikes, and previous enforcements must still be completed. So they went into a long spiel about it, and they talked about how everything is going to be manually reviewed, no AI doing it. And yet, Stallion83, you know the guy? I think he's like a million bajillion gamer score guy. He has had an enforcement action placed against him.
Wasn't that one for swearing?
We talked about this last week.
It's a specific type of swearing. It's like, it's not saying, oh shit. It's saying like, you suck shit. Like I think it's saying it at someone. Because technically you've never been supposed to swear on Xbox Live. It's always been a rule.
This feels a little bit too world police for me.
Yeah. So is it dependent on the person you're swearing at reporting you? Or is it an AI-driven NSA style thing?
No, I thought it was reports because you can report voice chat now because it'll like hold voice chat to report it. That was a newer thing a couple months ago.
I don't like it.
But it has to be. It has to be
to
reported
my friends all the time, and I get it if you're saying it. But then, I don't particularly join public chats anymore, like the old days of Xbox Live.
Yeah, I'm usually in party chats.
So logic would dictate that I would never have any audio submitted out. But like, it doesn't. I just feel like it doesn't take into account any cultural differences. Like Nick, you and me in Australia, telling someone to fuck off or calling them a C word or whatever.
Yeah,
it's pretty normal.
Next Tuesday.
You know, like, but it's not meant horribly, but it's
as long as your friend doesn't report you.
If it's dependent on the other person reporting, then it's not.
It has to be a report.
Bad. Because sometimes in Rocket League, I'll be in the open chat, and you can only open chat with your teammates anyway. And more often than not, that's all fine. Like once in a blue moon, you'll get the odd teenager that doesn't like you because they're terrible, and they'll just randomly quickly chat just to say something horrible and then leave.
Yeah.
But more often than not, you're chatting with your teammate, you get along, but sometimes you'll swear out of frustration or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I get it. Like the premise is to, well, hey, don't be dicks. I totally get that. I just worry that's already leaning into, because there's no context or nuance. So it just becomes a never swear or never say anything. So that just leads to more people just not being in public chats like I am. I'll just stay in party chats.
But it's always been the rule for public chats. It's never not been.
I know it's been the rule, but it's so different when you suddenly, after 20 years of the platform existing, you change how it's enforced, and then everyone goes, ugh. But
If
hey,
anything,
maybe
it's
it's more
more-
out of a molehill.
It's more easy to understand now. It was, I think, a lot more obfuscated in the past. Now they're just making it very clear why things happen.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. People that are like absolute racist, bigoted douchebags, they should absolutely get enforcement
And
straight.
I'm pretty sure
The old. Go.
I think this is actually like less strict than it used to be. This is more open than how they used to enforce things.
Man, the old Halo 2 days.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Jesus.
Do you remember the? Oh, my camera's gone out of focus. Really annoyingly.
You and your damn vape.
I know it's my vaping. Do you remember that? I swear, the old guy who used to do the head of enforcement at Xbox Live back in the 360 days, he used to do like the anonymous files, and he'd like post some of his favorites. And there's one of this guy was like, "My son's been banned. I demand to have an answer," and he just replied back, "He was exposing himself on Uno." That's why it's just like gold, pure gold.
Oh, there's some classics, like the one who said, I'll kill myself or something if I don't get my account back. And then the next message is like, "This is little Timmy's dad. My son is dead now. I hope you feel better." It's like, oh my God. It's so fun. Like some classic messages. Classic.
Just knowing that they're typed out on a D-pad too, and like no one's hooking a keyboard up for that stuff.
I was just reading the chat and I got reminded of a question. And it's an Australian question, Nick, and I said I'd ask you.
What?
If an Australian was to slang the word reservation, would it be "I made a Rizzo at a restaurant" or "I made a Rezzo"? So a Rizza or a Rizzo? No, but if you had to pick one, I voted for Rizzo. Yeah,
Rezzo.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Right, good. Okay, that's it. I
as
win.
in
That's
Rezzo.
Yeah, Rezzo. Yeah.
But neither of those are used here.
Yeah,
I've
I know.
never heard anyone down here go, "Made a Rezzo at a restaurant."
This is my partner's sister who is in America discussing what an Australian would say from an American's point of view. And that's what they think of you, that you would just abbreviate random words.
We do. Like, we have weird stuff in Australia that even sometimes is new to me. Like, I was quite old when I realized things like, once upon a time I heard someone say, I'm going to have a meat pie with some dead horse. And I'm like, "What? Dead horse?" It's like, "Yeah, sauce. Dead horse." I'm like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" Like,
that's very reminiscent of Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah.
So, I'll go up the apple and pears, or
put my wallet in my Johnny Rocket.
My
pocket.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's just random. Like, and again, remember, I'm Australian, but I'm also like of Greek descent, so a lot of that stuff was
really. You are? I had no idea.
A bit weird to me.
I spilled a load of claret.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Classic. Anyways, so that's the enforcement strike system. We'll see how that one shakes out. But even worse news on the Microsoft slate, and I'm sure this one is going to get you all fired up, Nick. The Xbox 360 store is going to close.
360 marketplace. You gotta have that differentiator.
Well, Microsoft worded it as the Xbox 360 store.
Yeah, but it gives you a better idea because there's a 360 store you can access through Xbox.com, and then there's the marketplace, which I think is like marketplace.xbox.com or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that's the one that's shutting down.
Yes.
I'm trying to get my camera back.
Oh, it's totally frozen. I think you're gonna have to leave stream now, bro. And come
leaving stream sucks. Yeah.
No,
leaving stream
I won't.
ends the audio thing. It made it so much harder.
Oh, he's back.
There we go. Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
If we can ever avoid refreshing, it's great for the audio feed because it breaks up the MP3 every time you come back. That was hard to sync.
Yes.
Good
I am not happy about the 360 store shutting down. I've been told all the reasons, and I just don't buy any of them. I don't know. I didn't like it when Sony did it with the PS3, although they've reversed that now. and I don't really like it here. Like, I get it. It's like, I'm sure there's technological issues that are probably screwing around with the current setup, and I don't know, all sorts of stuff. I don't know. 360s are still out there. It's their best-selling console ever.
Yeah.
Like,
It's really old now, though. It's 2 gens ago.
And it's
I know.
hacked. So.
It's scary. Like, that's when I started dating my wife, when the 360 came out.
Scary. 2006, man.
2005.
2006.
2005.
Oh my god, it is 2005.
2005.
That's like... Oh, we better get another book on the go, guys.
With the
Shit, it's going to be an encyclopedia this time.
That's what
4,000
pre-drag.
games.
Yeah, pre-drag was saying to you. It's about time for the 360, but it's not as bad with the 360 because the 360 has been hacked, and so people online can preserve it. It will be bad with the Xbox One and later, because as far as I know, those still aren't. So, for game preservation.
I know NVG and co weren't happy with this either. And John Linneman from Digital Foundry, they all hate the digital world. But I don't know, aside from the occasional blast of nostalgia, I rarely go back and play older games. I can't don't care. I just don't care.
I do.
So maybe I'm just one of those. I'm still seeing discussions about abbreviations in the chat, and it's funny. Someone saying, "Oh, we never abbreviated the word quarantine." Do you know what we've abbreviated over here as British slang?
What?
Cost of living crisis was a word, a phrase used by the government and the thing. No. Over here it's I got to think about it, babe. Can't go out to dinner. We got the old cosy lives, innit? The old cosy lives.
Cosy lives. Oh my god,
it's a classic. I use it now. Ironically.
I don't know.
Dad, can we have this? No, mate. Cosy lives.
I don't know. I will say, though, I did find out, because we were talking about it in the Discord, and I wanted to find out. So I did kind of go straight to the source. And I asked a certain person, does this store shutting down, would it, in theory and hypothetically, prevent new backwards compatible games being added? And the answer was no.
Oh, that's
because they go into the new store.
Yeah, so, and I understand it doesn't affect games that are currently backwards compatible. My concern is for people that still use their 360s and maybe let me use the example of Ninja Gaiden 2. There's a lot of people out there, although Ninja Gaiden 2 is backwards compatible, isn't it?
Yes, but it's also got a remastered version.
So I guess it doesn't count, but there's some 360 games that aren't backwards compatible that are still really expensive that never go on sale, and some people have just been waiting for them to go on sale, and now it's like, I know that's a nothing example, but it's an example of something, and just
at the very least, if they do buy it now, they can still download it. It doesn't just completely disappear, which has been the bad thing about like the eShop closing for older Nintendo hardware is it's just gone. It doesn't exist at all anymore.
I don't know. Rand, you already said this in the Discord, man. You didn't have to super chat that, dude.
Hey, but Rand's a Patreon supporter now. Show him the respect he deserves.
Well, then ask a community question on the forum, then.
He doesn't have to send a super chat, but he did. What does he say?
Right. Nick, if you don't have all the games you wanted from the 360 store now after 10 plus years, then how much do you really care about those games?
Man's got a point.
About that. It's the principle of it. Like, the console's there. If I own the console, the store should stay up and I should be able to buy those games. Like,
nope.
Oh, we just don't want your money anymore.
Like, if people were spending a lot of money on there, they'd keep it going. But it's expensive to maintain, even if it's not super hard.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second.
But you have to pay people to do it, and that's the expense. It doesn't keep itself running.
I'm sure $1 trillion company Microsoft can afford it.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they can afford it. They could afford it 5 million times over. Is it worth doing? Right. Is it worth doing for them as a business? And the answer is no.
Yes.
If it was, worth doing, they do it. Feelings don't matter. Money matters. It's not making money. So they keep things open like this as a PR move way more than anything else. In the moment it's not worth it PR-wise, it's gone. That's just the way it's always going to be. It's not good,
Hey,
but
Faisal.
it's never going to change.
Hey, Faisal, I take your comment and I raise you. Faisal goes, $1 trillion companies don't become $1 trillion companies by wasting money. Well, I raise you the fact that store's been open all this time and Microsoft still became $1 trillion company. Clearly they do.
They're
Maybe
making more money than ever, and
now.
they are making more money than ever, and they've fired like 10,000 plus people. It's not because they can't afford it. It's because everything is always just a quarterly budget. You're not, oh, well, we have more money than God. Let's be very nice to our employees. It's like, no, that's not capitalism. So it'd be really great if it was.
Goodwill goes a long way sometimes. Goodwill goes a long way sometimes.
That's why it's still open. It was goodwill this whole time, pretty much.
Magnum, mate, you've been watching this show long enough to know it's not fake outrage.
No, Magnum, he's just very...
shows.
He's very, very stubborn in being wrong about most things and ignoring facts.
It's not fake outrage. You should know me well enough to know this is not fake outrage.
Hey, should we talk about some Starfield stuff that we can talk about? Yeah, I know. Who'd have thunk it? Oh. Obviously, Jesse and I won't talk about anything specific. Some nice headsets you got there. But the Dev team and the publisher in Bethesda and Starfield, they released a Starfield Constellation timeline, where they talk about like when humans first arrived on Mars, when they arrived in Alpha Centauri, all of this sort of stuff, just as a little tee up. And then they did a little what's the phrase, Q&A, where they answered 16 questions.
Boy, that took a lot. And they didn't, it was on Discord and they didn't turn reactions off. And so trying to copy and paste it for the article I put up was a goddamn nightmare.
I love the fact that you used all the colors though for the
that was
logos.
Yeah.
But some interesting stuff there. We'll stick a link in the chat. You can go and read if you're hankering for Starfield news. This is stuff that the publisher themselves did in a Discord Q&A. So it's not from our perspective. We're not talking about anything. We're just sharing what has already been shared publicly. But link is there in the chat if you want to go and read it. Jesse very kindly went through the Discord and formatted it in nice, pretty colors for everybody to enjoy. So go check it out.
Did you like my memes that I posted about my
you're
zero
just like,
interest
everyone's
in Starfield? I'm dabbling in CapCut, that app CapCut that all the kids use these days to make their TikTok memes.
Yep.
So I did the one with the Bill Hader Makeba dancing one, and then I did the one with the cat that's like, everyone talking about Starfield. The cat's like, oh.
Yeah, we're still kicking you off the show for the Starfield, big Starfield episode, right? Because you're just not going to have anything to talk about for like an hour. Are you just going to sit there like this? Starfield.
I'll pull my Switch out.
He can go take a trip to Macca's, get a coffee, and then come back.
I'll pull out my Switch and I'll play stuff on my Switch.
Well, we talk about, okay, I'm fine with it. It's going to be a laugh. We've got another super chat from Faisal on the Starfield hype train. Yeah.
So excited that it's Jon and Jesse playing through Starfield. I fully expect Nick to only review the Starfield Fortnite skins. Well, yeah, the Bethesda deal's in place. Maybe there will be Starfield Fortnite skins. Maybe I'll get those. Or maybe Xbox could send me those if they're not going to send me the game.
Yeah. That is probably something we could be like, they probably just send V-Bucks for them or something.
Yeah. Send me V-Bucks.
Be nice. Anything else you wanted to chat? Anything else you wanted to talk about Starfield? Any other topics Starfield related that everyone wants to know? Do you know, I really wish I picked up the headset and the pad.
I picked up the pad, just not the headset.
I really wish I had the pad.
I'm still hoping there'll be like some floating around in games.
Why didn't you get the pad?
They ran out.
Just didn't get around to it. Well, okay, I did. I don't want to cast it. I was advised and asked, would I like something, and I said yes. And then after like a week and a half, I was like, oh, sorry, no. I was like, oh. And then by that,
it's one of those. You're not in the U.S. You're in a different region. They don't get nearly as many things.
So do you want a link to buy one right now?
How much is
price?
Normal price.
Normal price.
I'll go to Gamescom first and see if I come back with any swag before I worry too much.
The thing I really wanted, I wanted the Constellation Edition, but it was like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, does this place ship overseas? They're an Aussie site.
I haven't checked. To be honest, after that first couple of weeks when it did so, I didn't recheck, so I just kind of gave up. But
they're
if
still
they're still
really
available,
easy to get here.
Good. They might be again.
Well, they should still be new. Like they should still be being made because the game's not even out yet.
Yeah, they're still everywhere here in Australia. Yeah. I'm checking all them. EB Games has them in stock. $110.
Yeah, I'll probably pick one up. Because it's a really pretty pad.
It's gorgeous. Nice. Absolutely gorgeous. And remember how everyone tried to tell me it wasn't real? And I was like, guys, it's real. And everyone's like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's a modded one.
You and your goddamn lucky guesses.
Yeah, my lucky guesses.
Shocking.
Oh, come on, man.
But yeah.
Of course it's real.
What else? We are an hour and 20 in, and we've still got some new stuff to talk about. Hey, do you remember this whole...
There's a lot. There's more that's come out on this one, too.
I'm about to do this one. So, and feel free to educate me, because I've got a little bit of it up. So, we remember hearing, like, was it a month ago? Embracer, oh, crap, we're now tanked. We've lost this massive deal. And it's come to light via, is it Axios?
Yes.
That Saudi-funded Savvy Games was the mystery partner in the collapsed $2 billion Embracer deal. And it has sent the shares of Embracer Group absolutely plummeting, forcing it to fire.
That house of cards has been...
Satya's like...
Down.
He's waiting for that Crystal Dynamics.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know what? The new stuff on this is literally them saying, we are going to be canceling games. We are willing to sell off devs and stuff like they're a fire set. So they were always a house of cards built on the fact that they were just getting incredible rates on their loans. And then the economy went to shit and their rates are bad and they didn't get the Saudi money. And so it's just imploding, essentially.
Yeah. So Microsoft needs to hurry up, close this Activision deal, jump on the team developing Perfect Dark.
Crystal, Eidos, Tomb Raider.
Pick them
buy
up.
it all for a bill. Buy it all for a bill.
Less.
The thing with Tomb Raider
IP.
Tomb Raider IP has been essentially licensed to Amazon. So
yeah, that's already
they'll work something out.
Yeah, they'll have Amazon co-publish and it'll probably stay everywhere.
No, that's fine. But going forward, they can work something. It's still an IP worth owning.
Yes.
It's still an IP worth owning.
It's a dev worth owning, especially.
And it's two devs very much worth owning. Crystal Dynamics love Xbox hardware and do wonderful things with Xbox hardware, which is why I expect Perfect Dark, at least from a technical perspective, to be just incredible.
There's a part of me though that hopes that because the engine that they built for Tomb Raider, it wasn't Unreal, it was their in-house engine, and it ran
unbelievable,
fan-fucking-tastically. And I believe, and this is where I'm like, oh, please don't be true, that Perfect Dark is running on Unreal 5. And there's a part of me that's like, oh, please use your in-house engine because you guys know it.
Well, they would have been
well.
It's probably been being made for years on Unreal before Crystal ever joined. So it wouldn't have been on Crystal's engine. So Crystal's joining in.
Who knows?
And
maybe
Tomb
they
Raider,
started again.
They're going to Unreal for Tomb Raider. So it's not... I mean,
wow. Okay. Well, then that engine is dead then, hey?
But the thing is, well, the engines are super expensive to keep building, which is why so many keep going to Unreal. But Unreal 5 is a mess that is also incredibly power hungry, which is why you're seeing like there's games coming out now that are Unreal Engine 5, but they are not performant, even though they are very pretty.
Yeah.
You know, one studio that I reckon will work wonders with it?
What?
Coalition.
Yeah, they will set the stage.
That is why if Perfect Dark being on Unreal, State of Decay 3 being on Unreal, like all these things being on Unreal, I'm fine with because they essentially have their own super devs to help with everything.
They have their own in-house Unreal team.
Hellblade 2 is Unreal 5, isn't it?
Yeah, them and Ninja Theory.
That looks phenomenal. Yeah. So, exciting
Coalition,
times.
Black Tusk / Coalition.
Shanghai.
We got another
I'm
super chat
expecting-
on this topic.
Yes. Emil with a £5 super chat. Would be great to have Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal within the Xbox Game Studios family. Yes, that's what I wanted. Before ABK was a thing, I wanted Crystal and Eidos. And ABK ruined it.
Yeah.
Stupid ABK.
Man, can you
ruined
imagine
everything.
how good Gears 6 is going to look?
Oh my god. Like I said, I find Gears 4 and Gears 5 incredibly forgettable and boring Gears games. But you can't fault them at a technical and visual level. Like
I've found all of the Gears games outside of Gears 2 to be kind of forgettable and like I will play through them. I will have I will have fun.
What?
Yeah, seriously. Aside from they're sinking cities with a giant worm, I can't. I remember
Come on.
locusts
Gears
and bombs.
1, Gears 3 is like the culmination of everything
But-
that went into Gears 1 and Gears 2.
It's just my approach to Gears. This is why people that love the multiplayer, I'm just like I do not get the investment. Like because me and Gears and
Oh,
certainly
look, the
anecdotally-
multiplayer, yes. The multiplayer Nasher Fest bullshit, yes, I understand. That's just dumb. But the campaigns on 1, 2, and 3, come on.
Yeah, I had fun, but they're not the kind of games that I go back and play again and again and again. Like I will play through them on launch with a friend or friends, depending upon the number of co-op players available. I will have a good laugh through it and all the craziness, like the horror sections and the berserkers and all that sort of stuff, and then I'll move on. And that is
Yes,
that
Joe
is my
Sinister.
Gears experience.
Hive Busters, amazing. Hive Busters is, for me, that's the real Gears 5. Hive Busters.
Yeah, it was gorgeous
Because actual Gears 5 is like just
did go on.
no thanks.
Did go on.
Gears 4 and Gears 5 are just my god. But Hive Busters, yes. If Gears man, I could do a whole show just about what I want Gears 6 to be. But
Just the horror, survival horror.
You can go do that show while we're talking about Starfield. Eventually.
but I made,
We'll do
I
two
get
competing
DMs?
shows.
Did I get a DM about Gears 6? Let me just hold on. All this talk about Gears and
Oh no!
Don't. We want
Don't do
Microsoft
it.
to like us.
Yeah, they really don't like.
Oh
it
yeah, I
when you
did
leak
too.
things.
I did get some stuff
God
about
damn
Gears
it.
6.
No, not first party rumor mills.
No, it's not a rumor mill. I was
Good.
curious. I get a lot of messages and sometimes I forget. Did I put that in my OneNote? Let me check.
We'll talk about it after we're not live.
Okay.
Sorry, chat.
Let me
Love
just
you
see.
guys.
Did I put this stuff? Oh, I did put it in my room. In my rumor mill. In my I did put that in my.
The more
No,
you talk
no,
about your
last
OneNote, the
time
more
we
people are
emptied the
going to try
show.
and yeah.
Last
you
time
talk
we
about
ended
your
the show
OneNote.
was you looking through that freaking OneNote. Anyway, so that's Savvy Games and Embracer. Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming out a week earlier than previously announced. That's unusual, isn't it?
Yes.
Everything's moving around
It is.
October
It is very
because
weird.
it's too full. October is too full, so that's why things are jumping up and jumping back because it's just ridiculous.
It's nice to know that team's on the ball, though. So good for them. But sadly, while Assassin's Creed Mirage comes forward, and I do like the sound of Mirage, it seems like a smaller, less grindy RPG that Assassin's Creed has become.
It was
something a little bit more
originally
AC1.
it was an expansion for Valhalla, and then
Oh,
they were like,
really?
there's enough here where we can make a full price game out of this. So we're going to do that because
Oh, wow.
we have nothing as a company.
Sounds about right.
I think I am allowed to mention
For fuck's
what I was
sake.
told about Gears 6.
Oh, for God's sake.
I just asked in a DM because I saw my Gears 6 thing and it was a while back. Oh, I won't say anything. Don't worry about it then. It's been sitting there for
Well,
like
now
ages,
the
my
people
Gears
are
6
gonna-
thing, and I forgot
people
about
are-
it.
People are going to be desperate to hear it.
Nah,
now.
don't worry about it. I'm not in the mood now for people to be all like, oh, he's just making stuff up. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, and also
I'm
for
not in the mood.
for any potential Microsoft employees watching, being very mad at us again.
Yeah, I'd have to be in front of like that team next
I
week.
forgot. We started talking about Gears 6 and it reminded me that I could have sworn I had received some messages about Gears 6 and now I'm checking my OneNote and I did. I did. I'm not going to say anything. Fine. I won't say anything. I'll leave
Find something else, or else people are going to get mad now at us. They're going to get mad
so
at me and
relieved.
John now.
Yeah, now they're going to be like,
so-
boo, Jesse and John for being all like the corporate shills that we are.
And I'm so relieved that I'm not going with that Switch 2 Rumourmill anymore, man. Oh, boy. My God.
Yeah, it's a wise decision. Wise.
Chat's
Don't
already
worry, I've
yelling
got-
at us all.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not...
Anyway.
Whatever.
Well, Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming out a week earlier. Sadly, Alan Wake 2 is coming out a little bit later. It's
10
delayed by
days
just
later.
over a week to October 27th. So,
So, when is Assassin's Creed?
Very beginning of the month.
Of September?
October.
Oh, my God. So, that's all October.
Yes, that's what
Assassin's
I'm
Creed,
saying.
Alan Wake.
October's. Mhm. Spider-Man
Super
2.
Mario and Sonic Superstars and Spider-Man all in October.
And more.
Oh,
There's
God.
even more than that. October. So things need to leave October and just go to November. They need to start doing that.
my God.
Because
Yeah, but
November
COD's
doesn't have
in
that
November.
much. But there's not
It's
that much
got
else.
COD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
go
that's
to
because no one
December.
wants the release against COD.
It's
they've
not going to be
locked
a
that
good
month
COD.
down.
It's going to be a shitty COD.
Oh, dear.
Man.
Yeah, no.
October is
In September,
crazy.
Nick, they all are. See, you never actually read the Discord where I've been going over every game we want to cover, even if you don't count multi-platforms or PlayStation or Switch. Just everything that's coming to Xbox this month
It's
through
stupid.
October it's like 50 games. It's 50 games we would want to cover legitimately.
We've even been getting messages in other reviews like, "Hey, are you reviewing this game?" And it's like,
no.
we just can't have we don't have the time. You know, if
I
things
wanted
go
to
well,
That's the
review-
problem.
Yeah. Even
if
if we
things
were
go
full
well
time.
next week, then maybe we can be full time and we can start leaning into stuff.
That's why we need everyone's support.
We don't want
like-
to work like our actual jobs for a living. We'd rather do this
Yeah.
all the
I
time.
don't want to do my day job. I'd rather just do this stuff, and then I can start reviewing more games instead of the reviewing once in a blue moon like I do now.
Me and Jesse would do a daily news show. That'd be fun. We'd have
Yeah.
the weekly
And I can
podcast.
I can finally start jumping on all those American podcasts I get asked to jump on
Yeah,
because it won't matter if I have to get up at 3 a.m. if this is my job the next day.
it'd be great. The dream.
Do all of it.
Hey, if you want to support us, you can head to patreon.com/XboxEra.
man.
And did you know we've got over 370 people watching us right now?
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's not bad, but do you know what is bad? You know what's bad.
yeah.
There's only 130 something likes.
Man, I
Like,
just...
what's
That's
going
4
on?
games I want to buy in October. Alan Wake 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder I've already pre-ordered. Sonic Superstars and Assassin's Creed. Because this is an Assassin's Creed I'm interested in because it's short and it goes back to its roots.
Yeah, same. I'm quite interested in.
As soon as I hear short, my ears go, ooh.
Okay,
Why
but they
is it
said
burning?
shorter. Valhalla was about 80 hours. So shorter than Valhalla is still probably going to be like 20 to 30, at least, I bet.
20's okay.
More manageable.
Okay with 20.
But like, you could do
In a-
Origins in 30 to 35. You could do Odyssey in 40 to 45. Valhalla was the one that just went crazy with it.
Yeah, Valhalla was too much. I played it.
Origins is pretty long. And
played
Origins
it
has
for like
got all the
20
level
hours.
gating bullshit in it too.
Yeah, it's not for me. I don't have time for that. What else? Hi-Fi Rush, one of the critical darlings
Yeah.
of this year, and I hope it does get included in Game of the Year conversations
It will
because
not.
it is legitimately. Nah, come on, it was
Not a chance.
Game of the Year contender.
I don't think it will either. I think it will
I think it will be on the
should, but
list.
It won't.
I think it will be on lists. I just don't think it will win. Got 3 million players, which is a really solid
Yeah.
number.
The game
So
that
good
we
for them.
set the tone for.
Set the precedent. Jesse set
Mm.
the first review out of the gate.
Yeah, we set the
Beating
tone
every
for
other
that.
outlet.
And it wasn't a fluff piece because I'm still very close to everyone else's scores. So there.
Yeah,
No
that's
fluff.
good. That's good.
Yep.
And lastly, last news item was Nick put a line in about Thunder Ray Indie Punch
Yes,
Out
I
Live.
wanted to do that. I wanted
Okay,
to do
off you
that.
go.
So a
Off
friend
you.
of mine, Super Nintendo, Chris, he's like,
Neat.
"Hey, have you seen this game?" And I was like, he showed me the trailer, and I was like, "No, I have not seen this game. Can we? I want to share my screen. I'm going to play this.
You can, you can share it
and share my screen because it is, man. Because I love Punch Out. Super Punch Out's like one of my favorite games ever. And this game, it's called Thunder Ray by an Argentinian dev called Purple Tree. Now, let me just get this up. I will share my screen with all of you fine people.
Don't have your OnlyFans up, please.
Yeah.
I won't.
Or your search history.
Or my porn
Or
bookmarks.
your internet browsing.
Now, mate. Look at that.
No.
Look at that.
Super Punch Rage.
That is... Look how cool that looks, man. Like, look at that. That is so cool.
It's very cool.
Retro Fury.
So it's just this Punch-Out clone, and I freaked out when I saw this and, like, tweeted out the trailer and stuff. I'm in a conversation with the dev. I think they're going to be happy to jump on the show.
That would be cool. Is it coming to Xbox, right?
Yep. Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation.
Oh, you got very loud, Nick. You got close to your mic.
Sorry. But how cool does this game look?
It looks cool. I
Very
hope this
neat.
music isn't copyrighted.
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
If people don't hear anything during the segment later on, it was.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, how cool is that?
Very cool.
So, yes.
Love the art style.
Oh, that's just... Man, I saw that and I was like, please play as well as it looks.
It's based on a Nintendo game, so Nick's in.
Because the key to that game working is it needs to be super responsive and it can't
Super
be
punchy.
cheap on you. And I still play Super Punch Out to this day. I still play it. I love that game so much. It is just, my God. So I'm in conversations with the dev. The dev started following me, so I followed them back and we're in a DM. And I said to them, I said, hey guys, you want to jump on the show? Chat about Thunder Ray? They're like, sweet. So I'm going to get them to jump on. Yeah. Man.
Obviously, point out the previous 2 indie dev podcasts we did.
I did.
Yeah, like, hey, like
Broken-
these.
There's been 150K. We have no idea why.
I know. I'm like, the algorithm really loves our indie dev episodes, so if you want to jump on.
Yeah, we'll have an indie dev every week. If we could get
Oh my
150,000
God, yeah.
views on per podcast, that would be lovely.
I know. Jesus Christ, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thomas
I'll
Sala's
take
like,
it all
wow,
the way.
so many people know about Bulwark now.
Yeah.
because that episode's got so many views.
Does it make
yes.
you happy that in 27 episodes we'll probably have our dear friend of the XboxEra podcast, Mr. Phil Spencer, on again?
God,
episode
I've got to start
200?
organising that, don't I? Because it's so close to episode
John
200.
can maybe mention it to him again.
Yeah.
And
Games
they'll love
time.
it. They love it when we talk directly to Phil and don't go through PR.
Yeah, they do not love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
Maybe
fun.
I should email Phil.
no.
Please
don't.
Mm.
Probably bump into him next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Force him.
Hit
As
him
well
with a
as
book.
meeting up with Clobril, I'm going to
Yeah,
take.
the
I'm going to
book.
take.
Give him the book. Bribe him
Mate.
with the book.
What? That's such a unique idea that I definitely haven't thought of. Mate, I want to see that book on Phil Spencer's shelf. Every time that shelf comes up,
Yeah.
that book's there. That would
He
make
better.
my day. But hey, I'm also going to be taking a certain Mr. Corden out to dinner in Germany.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Go have dinner with Jim. Why not? Why not? I've not.
Why
met
would you
Jez
go
in
to
real life.
Why would you go to a restaurant for baked beans?
Yeah, Jez goes, yeah, I love this place. It's just a row of
Yeah.
microwaves and beans.
Yeah, why would you go to a restaurant for baked beans?
Well, it's funny. One of my colleagues at work, he's half German, half Dutch, and right before we kind of had our final, like, he's my manager, so we had our kind of like final 1-to-1, and he was giving me all these places in Cologne I should go try, and don't ruin this for me, chat, but he's given me a place to go, and a specific meal to order, and I was like, what is this? And he's like, I'm not telling you, but it's not for vegetarians. So I don't know what it is that I'm eating, but apparently it's a traditional dish. And I'm not going to say it because then people will go, oh, it's this, and then ruin it for me. But I think I'm going to take Jez to Pafgen Kolsch.
Take him to Macca's.
Take it to the Heinz factory in Cologne. But yeah, there you go. That's it for all of the video game news. I know that as much as the chat would love Jesse and I to start waxing lyrical about Starfield and telling you all our thoughts, we are not going to until the embargo has ceased. The episode after the embargo, we will be full of thoughts and we will discuss it with you. But you guys will probably all be playing it at that point, and then we'll have like 3 people watching. But we'll find out. We'll see. So a couple of weeks for that. But for now, it's time for Name a Game.
Yeah, name it.
By sheer demand, the most popular podcast segment in existence, apart from one person's toilet break. Name a Game is a weekly game that Nick and I play, directly supporting and championing for our patrons. So just as a heads up, if you are a Patreon member, Nick and I will play randomly for a certain Patreon member every week, and whoever wins, Nick or I, will win that person a game code from our spreadsheet of games that Jesse maintains. So, you know, once one of us has won, you get that. If you want to have a chance to do that, just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. But for now, Nick, who are we playing for this week?
You'll like this one.
I know.
You're playing for Deadly Headley.
Okay.
And let me see. Hold on. Let me just check something. Oh, he's there. I'm playing for Randall 419.
Wow. I think Rand's probably going to be like, oh, stop it the other way around. Mind you, your performance towards the end of the week last week was really good.
Stellar.
But
I'm playing for
you got
Rand.
knocked out in the first 3. You know, didn't even break a sweat. So let's see how it goes this week.
All right. Yeah, I'm playing for Rand. So if you want one of those free games, Rand, that no one ever wants, this is your chance.
All right.
What's the topic?
The category
What's the topic
for this week is more games that share mechanics with Starfield.
Okay.
Going back to this.
Every game on Earth.
Yep, it makes it a lot easier for me. So, number 1 is Miscreant Regiment. Miscreant Regiment.
I have a.
These it's so annoying that I know both these words but can't think of synonyms for them.
I have a couple in my head, but I'm like, nope, it's not that. Like, I've got one word, and I'm like, was it this word? Because, like, the first one I went to for this, but it wouldn't be the full name. So it can't be this. Because if it's the full...
Oh, that was my first hint. It is not the full name.
Oh. It's not the... So we're missing words from the actual game title?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then I know what it is.
Go for it.
What do you mean?
It's Fallen Order.
Incorrect.
Oh, no way!
What? I'm so confused right now. What's happening?
So he said it's not the... Like, if it was the full name, I was like, oh, it's going to be Star Wars... Jedi, whatever, Fallen Order.
But he would have done Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
But we just asked him, and he said, no, it's not the full name. So I just blew my guess.
I'm not always going to put the giant IP. It makes it too easy if I always have to say the same IP over and over again.
So this game is not a full name.
This game is it's a popular IP, but I didn't put the popular IP in there because it makes it too easy.
What?
It makes it... How many ways can I say the same freaking name over and over again?
I'll give you a clue. I'm not always going to say... It's real simple.
So this is
a game that is known... when people talk about it, they just call it this, even though its full name is...
Okay, but hold on. To give me an example, so are we saying, like, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, you've just done the Modern Warfare?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this is the second part.
Yep.
Fuck.
Miscreant.
I'm surprised chat has not got
Do
it.
I get any kind of clue about the IP or anything like that?
Might have already been mentioned.
Because you haven't even done the full game.
Yeah, I mean, it might have something to do with his guess.
What did he guess? He said Fallen Order. It's Star Wars. He said Star Wars, didn't he?
Do I have to be...
I did
That's pretty
say
clear,
Fallen Order,
right?
but it was wrong.
Yeah. Might have something to do with his guess.
What is it? Battlefront? Battlefront Star Wars, but that's Battlefront. That's not...
Is that your guess? Someone finally got it in chat. God damn. Okay, well, I'm going to start the timer.
Star
Can I say
Wars,
what my
so
second guess would have been for this?
Star Wars...
If he doesn't get it. 2, 1...
Miscreant
What was your-
Regiment. Star Wars...
My second guess, but then you clarified it was Star Wars. My second guess was Bad Company, like Battlefield Bad Company. But it's not that.
Nope.
So when you said Star
No.
Wars, it can only be one thing. now.
You said Star
Yeah.
Wars. I didn't say Star Wars.
I know. Don't
Jesus
worry,
Christ.
You
Nick.
said
How can he
Fallen
not?
Order.
He can't get my hint. My hint was literally John said the IP it is.
Yeah. I
John
was
said
just
the IP
saying
it is.
that my
It was-
guess before Jesse said that, my guess was, it's probably like Battlefield Bad Company, Miscreant Regiment Bad Company.
So
But
what
it's
is
not
it?
that. So it is a Star Wars IP. What is it?
I already ran out of time. So what is it?
It is Rogue Squadron.
Oh, brutal. I love the fact that Bad Company works. as
It
well.
does, yeah.
It does. That is a
I've
cruel.
got that game on GameCube too.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've got that game on GameCube.
So it's one I
Okay.
didn't want to just say the IP, but I got to figure out because how many different ways can I say Starfield or Star Wars or
I've got Rogue Squadron 2.
Ah.
Sorry. Rogue Leader.
yeah, that was another one I looked at. But I was like, I'll just go with Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron is what people would think of when space combat game mechanic in Starfield. All right, nothing. Number 2, buzzers are cleared. Number 2 is Blessedness. Pioneering Misdeed. So these are obviously, okay, this is like a space combat game. This is a first-person shooter. This is a shipbuilder. This is an RPG. I'll give you the category, RPG.
I'm already out. I don't know these games.
John.
My mic is muted and everything. I'm like, I saw people discussing this because of Baldur's Gate, and a friend of mine was playing it on Steam today. Divinity: Original Sin.
Correct. Remember, these are always bad, and they don't work if Nick doesn't get it right.
Did the chat
All right,
get that?
it's, right around when John did, not before. All right.
I haven't got chat.
I think
open,
one-
if that makes you feel any better, Nick.
He doesn't ever believe you, even though he's got chat open.
I know.
He's projecting.
I know.
Because our
All right.
lag is much less today, I've noticed. It's only like
Yeah,
3
I
seconds
put us
delay
back
today.
on. I put us back on ultra low latency because we're not pushing 1440p. All right, the next one, John is up 1-0. Is, and you can see this hyphen, middle-aged empire. The only hint I'll give is, oh yeah, this game, I believe, is on Game Pass.
Middle
Not gonna help you.
Empire.
Middle-aged empire. Oh.
Pretty sure this is on Game Pass.
Oh, wait.
Middle-aged Empire. Middle-aged.
There's no way either of you have ever played a second of this game.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
not ringing any bells.
I felt like I knew it, but now that Jesse said that, I don't.
Can we have a genre?
It is it's a real life simulator played from the first person perspective, if I remember correctly.
Real life simulator?
It's like you are living the life of someone. Survival-ish, building-ish. I wouldn't be surprised if neither of you have ever heard of it. Oh, hey, chat's got it, and John hasn't buzzed yet.
I really doubt I have.
It is not
No.
Pentiment. I don't know how that would work.
Middle-aged empire. I'm trying to think of all the survival games I know of.
You're not going to get this.
It's not Rust.
Yeah, timer's going. 7. 5.5.
No.
The answer is Medieval Dynasty. I'm sure neither of you have ever heard of that. It's a game on Game Pass. Yep. Try them. Sometimes you can get it just based on the words, so I figured I'd go with it anyways.
Fair.
But who got that in chat? That was Ladder Ape. Got it correct. All right, 1-0. It is 1-0 Sick Mechanico. The next one is one word, that word being vocalists.
This should be really easy, but I can't think of the
It should
game.
be really easy, right?
It should be
Ladder Ape
super
again.
easy.
I mean, we know. Oh my god, vocalists.
This game used to be on Game Pass.
I'm like, oh, it can't be SingStar.
Six,
Oh wait,
This game-
wait, hold on. Is this a space game? Is this a space game?
My only hint will be this game used to be on Game Pass, but no longer is, as far as I know.
No, if we're doing if we're doing space games, then I actually know this.
Go for it.
Isn't it that name Chorus with the V as the U?
I
Chorus.
reviewed
Correct.
that. Well played.
Yes,
Nice.
of course.
I was like, at
freaking
first, I'm
understand
like, SingStar Lips? I'm like, wait a second, it's a space game like Starfield.
Did chat get that?
Yes,
did check it
the
there.
same guy got it. Ladder Ape got it right away. And then right after him was Faisal. Though a lot of people just guessed Peppa Pig. All right. Well, I mean, they guessed Peppa Pig on every single one. Cleared buzzers. The next one is Quicker Than Sunshine. But there's a thing with this one.
Oh! No way! On my screen, it put me first, and then it changed right in front of my eyes.
adjusts for the
That is
countries.
crazy
No.
bullshit.
That's what makes this good, John. It's rollback netcode. It sees who actually sent it first. Go ahead, Nick.
FTL. Faster than
Correct. Yep. Correct.
That is bullshit.
light. I'm pretty sure Jesse's done that game before, too.
I do games multiple times. I just try and give them different things, you know? All right. It is now 2-1 Nick a Mechanico.
Fuck's sake.
For the
you,
potential win, we have...
Clear the buzzers.
Jesus Christ. For the potential win, and now I hope he wins, we have the Lost to Time Burrow. Lost to Time, one word, as you can read.
Ah, yeah, I am. I'm looking at it. Because now that it's all in StreamYard, I can just look straight at it.
There's a game I'm thinking of, but I don't think Lost to Time translates to this word. But then it might be one of those times where you've done a synonym thing that I don't agree with. There's like a game
No,
right
this
now
one
that I know one of my mates is playing.
Is this
think I
game
know
in
the
Xbox
last
Game
word.
Pass?
Yes, it is. Would I be correct in saying it's quite a recent addition?
I don't actually know. I think this one's been in a while.
Oh.
This one, I'll give you one hint. Game Pass and first-person RPG in nature.
I know what it is, but I can't remember the name.
That doesn't help.
The Lost to Time Burrow. I know what a burrow is. Lost to Time. I'm trying to work this one out based on the words, because I doubt I've ever heard of this game.
You have...
I think I've played this.
If something is lost to time, it's... If something is lost to time, it's forgotten. Yes?
Yeah.
And a
That would
burrow
be a word.
is like
I
a
played-
town.
I-
A burrow is like a town or a city. So
Oh,
is
you
it
already
the
fucking
forgotten?
buzzed.
Is
Don't
it the
even know why I
forgotten
bothered.
city?
Yes, it is a Forgotten City. You never heard of the Forgotten City?
No,
Oh, yeah, that was it.
I did that on
Get
the
that?
words. If lost to time is forgotten.
He got it on the word.
It's a synonym game. It's a synonym game.
Guys. He got it.
The Lost to Time Burrow.
He got it on the words.
Got it on the words.
Never played it.
Well, Nicka Mechanico wins. Sorry, John. You failed miserably. That's what you get for being mean to me. All right,
Nick
we got
won, man. I can't believe it.
Rand,
See?
do what
I won
everyone
for
else
Rand.
does and never message me for a game.
I won for
I don't
Red.
have anything you want. I don't have a game he wants. Not
We
one.
might.
Because he's got
We might
everything.
have something somewhere.
No, he
Did
literally
we end up
gets all the
giving
same
away
things.
that Jedi Fallen Order code of mine?
I don't think so.
Is that
no.
gone? Maybe Rand wants
doubt it
Jedi
works.
Fallen Order.
It's a Game Pass.
Is it?
He doesn't
Yeah, but he might want to
game on
own
PC.
it on PC.
Doesn't game on PC. It's on Game Pass PC.
Okay.
Next
he might
one
wanna own it.
is-
I don't know.
Fire Drake period investigation. Nick.
Dragon Age Inquisition.
Correct.
God damn.
Wow.
God damn.
I know how you felt last week.
Well, no, he actually got him right later. Are you going to do that?
What do you mean? I got him right last week and I'm getting
Yeah.
him quick this week. What are you talking about?
All right. Next one is Virtuoso Inhabitant.
Clear the buzzers, please.
I was trying to give John a chance.
Again,
It is not Peppa Pig.
I need to get this one off the words. A virtuoso. I'm a virtuoso.
You've definitely heard of this game. Everyone's heard of this game.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case. And it's annoying me that I'm trying to get it on the words. A virtuoso.
Might be a bit much calling it a game.
What? Well, now you've confused me.
Shouldn't have.
Virtuoso inhabitant.
Some people think it's, and get your hands out of the buzzers, some people think it's more of a money laundering scheme. John.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to
John
be
got
Star
it.
Citizen.
Star
surely.
Citizen. Yeah,
Yes.
Star Citizen.
Is it out
Virtuoso
yet?
inhabitant.
Is that out
It's been like being made forever. It's not technically done out. It's just it's trying to be the everything game that No Man's Sky is like little tiny pieces of, but who knows? All right,
Wow.
two more. Next one is Close Simulacrum.
What?
A
Didn't read it.
simulacrum, Nick. Jeez.
What the
don't
hell
you know
is
anything?
simulacrum?
It's a simulacrum, bro.
I have no idea what simulacrum is.
I'll read you the goddamn definition because I know you just look it up anyways.
No, I'm not going to look it up. I'm checking the time because I've got a brunch date.
It is
In
a
half an hour.
representation or imitation of a person or thing.
Oh. He buzzed in. John buzzed in.
No,
Did he?
it's not been
Oh, no.
reset.
Ah.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
I actually think I might know this.
You probably should.
Should I? That's the part that's confusing me, that you're saying I should know this, because the game I have in my head, I don't feel like that's a game
Oh,
I should know.
you wouldn't have played it, but you probably heard about it.
Ah, okay, well, then that makes more sense, because I was about to say, I have a game in my head that I think this is, but then you keep saying, you should definitely know this, as if it's like Rocket League or something. And it's
Know
like,
of
it's
it,
Rocket League.
not know, not saying it's for you. I'm saying it's something you probably heard of.
Yeah, when you said the simulacrum is like a copy or an imitation, I'm like, wait, I think I know this.
Go for it.
Is this the first Naya? Naya replicant?
Correct. I'm using the near.
Nia, I know.
Yeah.
Nia, Naya.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So, John, this isn't like last week. He's just getting them all. You're getting jack shit.
But then
You-
when you were like, oh, you should know this, I started to doubt myself. I'm like, well, if this is
You
Naya,
should know
I've
that
got
this is a
nothing
thing
to
that
do with
exists.
Naya.
I know, but it's more that you should know that this is something that exists and I've heard of it before. Very last one is The Minstrel's Anecdote.
You've spelled it minstrel.
I don't know.
A Bard's Tale.
Go. Correct.
Ah, what's a minstrel? I didn't know what a minstrel is.
bard.
What's a minstrel?
A singer.
What's a bard?
It's a singer, like an old school.
I don't know what a bard is, and I don't know what a minstrel is. I don't know.
You
what
watch The
either of those
Witcher on
words
Netflix?
mean. Yes.
Yes,
I do.
He's
Jaskier
called a bard, isn't he?
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole
Well, there you go.
character.
Hey, we only lost
That it?
40 viewers this time.
Well, congratulations. Those 40 all really needed to go pee.
Congrats,
Congratulations,
Rand.
Randall Thor.
Definitely reach
Yeah.
out to me. I definitely have games you don't already have.
Lol.
I'll see if he wants my Fallen Order code.
Yeah. You try them out. Now
He might.
it's time for community questions. So if you've
Yeah.
never watched an XboxEra podcast before, our community is arguably the most important thing to us. By the way, apologies for the forum being offline for a couple of hours this evening. We ran out of space because you guys are using it too much, so I had to do a little cleanup. But it's all back up online.
Oh God,
now.
I've got to fix up the OT, don't I?
Yeah, the OT replicated again. So, but it's
been
honestly
busy.
one of the coolest Xbox forums in the world. And do you know what I love is even though we've got a 600-700 member strong Discord server now, it's still super active. Do you know that the XboxEra forums get 1.4 million page views a month? It's pretty
Really?
shit hot numbers, I'm telling you. Anyway, if you're a Patreon member in that forum, you get super secret access to the super secret Patreon lounge, which is a special forum just for you guys. And every week, Nick devotedly posts the community questions thread, and you guys get to ask us some questions. Now, it's been long said that we should probably start making you guys ask genuine questions, or maybe impose a sort of character limit so that we don't get really long essays. And maybe we'll do that. But we haven't done it for this week, so let's see what everybody's got to say. Nick, what have we got on the community questions slate this week?
I apologize to whoever the person is that is the second post in the Game Studios thread. I have to take over your post to replace it with
The
Thingo.
OT
So
things.
sorry, Kaka Carrot Kake. I have to overtake your post. I am sorry.
And now that all the cool people who stuck around through Name a Game, you get to hear about Starfield. No, I'm kidding. You don't get to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and Rumourmill. Nah. Okay, I'm not-
Now
Here, let
we're
me
gonna
share my
start
let,
talking.
let me
Blame-
share my screen
blame-
real quick.
For those of you who wanted, a Rumourmill and you're now not getting one, blame Jon and Jesse for that.
Whoa, hey.
I'm sick of copying all this shit. Blame Jon and Jesse for the fact that you're not getting a Gears 6
Hey.
Rumourmill.
Hey, come on, buddy.
Gears 6 Rumourmill.
Is it something they get mad at us for saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
no.
Then don't. That's
Yeah.
not.
Microsoft would get mad at us for what I can leak on Gears 6.
Look, and if you guys like our website, you will understand why we're trying to not upset publishers if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
The coalition may not be happy with what I am saying about Gears 6.
You're not saying about anything about Gears 6. Even that hint was just a joking one. What have we got? Who's first up in the? Let me change the
Okay.
subject quickly.
Community questions. Okay. DeoGame. Hopefully, because I'm seeing the little Wi-Fi logo on StreamYard, but my internet's fine, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
what's
seem
going
Sometimes
on.
fine.
it's
You're good.
it's sometimes just them. It's the hops between you and them. You never know. The
Yeah.
internet's very annoying.
My download's 900 and my upload's 45. Like, it's not,
Yeah.
can't be me. DeoGame. Hi, everyone. With Starfield just around the corner, or, in some people's hands, we're just about in the clear for known Bethesda titles. Elder Scrolls 6 is likely a good 3 to 5, 10 years off, and indie probably at least another 2. Which leads to my question. What do you think we see from Bethesda next year, if anything? They've only ever gone a year without releasing a game twice in their nearly 40-year history after all, and one of those years was the 90s. Doesn't Hi-Fi Rush count? Or are we talking Bethesda specifically?
I mean, that would. Well, there's
no, he's-
BGS, and there's only BGS, so Bethesda would be every ZeniMax studio.
Yeah. So basically, anything coming out of the Bethesda ZeniMax
Well, we got-
arm.
Well, then we got 3 this year.
Yeah, but what he's saying is it's rare for them to not release anything during a year. So 2024 rolls around. What do you think is coming out on the slate? That's the
Hopefully
question.
the Quake reboot.
Yeah, it's been a while since Doom Eternal.
Hopefully the Quake reboot that I've heard about.
I don't think Indiana Jones is 2 years away.
And Indie could be next year.
Yeah,
Potentially.
Wolfenstein 3 could.
If they are doing that Oblivion remaster.
Wolfenstein
The Oblivion
3,
remaster.
Fallout remaster. Would that be them?
I'd source that kind of stuff out.
They'd probably be outsourcing that, yeah.
Yeah. Don't know, DeoGame. Don't know. But yeah, Quake reboot's a good one. I think it's a fair guess.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the Bethesda's typical way of doing things, indie they specifically called out early because they were kind of recruiting for it for machine games. But typically their MO is, hey, we're making this game. It's out in 3 months.
It's out in 3 months' time.
So, indie is like the one, and Starfield were the two kind of exceptions to the rule. But otherwise, maybe they'll do that with the other stuff. I have to admit, like, if I compare Bethesda's approach to game releases and talking about things versus Xbox game publishing, I vastly prefer Bethesda's way of doing things. There's no ridiculous rules.
But, you mean the getting Pentiment and Minecraft Legends and literally being told you can't say
don't tell anyone. It's like, let people know, let people see the start screen, like it's cool. It gets people
even if the start screen's not actually that pretty or well designed.
Well, what if so hypothetically, like most games have a press the button to start. What if the press the button to start screen looks great, but then the main menu that you're literally just clicking continue on for a second, maybe that doesn't look good. See, the one you'd leave up is just playing music and it's just got an image. But if you're actually controlling it and getting into a main menu on a game, do you sit in the where it says like new game and continue? Or do you, like a fucking maniac, just stare at your screen going, oh, wow, what a pretty...
Yeah. I like menu screens. Yeah,
you like
I was a graphic designer,
too.
Remember? I was a graphic designer, so it kind of lines up, doesn't it?
Well, you are an OCD graphic designer, so you can't ever.
Yeah, I was a graphic designer, so I appreciate good design when I see it, but I also will point out bad design when I see it. Like maybe if you have a big, chunky, blocky welcome screen on your menu that doesn't fit, that would not be a great thing to have on your menu screen if there was a menu screen that had that.
I think the easiest thing they could do to get better performance in games and just end all this is if they went to a text-based UI. Where there's no graphics, there's no graphical user interface. What if it gives you 1 or 2 frames per second better performance in game? I'd do it. Just let me have to type in /start name of game typed perfectly, and I have to even get like TM or R. I got to get all those set. I'd do it. No. If it hurts you that badly, I would love it.
Okay, next question. First time poster and new patron, RuGabru. Hello, guys. Long-time listener, new patron, and new to all of this.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining, RuGabru.
Yeah, thank you for your
support. A couple
of
episodes ago, you discussed if Xbox should also do some Marvel IPs after Spider-Man is such a success and Wolverine coming. One of you mentioned that X-Men would be a perfect fit for it. Well, Xbox. Did we? I don't remember us talking about that.
I think that was...
It would a long time ago, not like a couple of episodes ago. I recently found my way back to Marvel Comics and read the entire X-Men run by Jonathan Hickman. In there, the X-Men basically defeated death. Professor X stores backups of all mutant minds in Cerebro, and with the help of a group of mutants, the bodies from those mutants who died are being grown back, and the backed up minds get put back into the newly cloned body. This story arc could be the base of a Souls-like X-Men game. You can choose from different X-Men to solve missions and level up. If you die, you get brought back to life and continue. You keep your memories, XP, so that your X-Men get stronger after every death. I know that Microsoft likes to own their IPs, but I would love to see a good X-Men game. It has been too long. So, how stoked would you be for a new X-Men game? Thank you for all your work and greetings from Germany. Interesting.
I'd like an X-Men game.
An X-Men game had the marketing speaks for itself.
Yeah.
An X-Men game that's exclusive to Xbox.
Only on Xbox.
It would be cool. I mean, there's a lot of studios right now that we don't know what they're doing. It would be cool if maybe one of them was secretly working on like an X-Men game.
Yeah.
And you finally do a
Wolverine.
No, eventually. But what if you finally do a custom Xbox and it's the original prototype giant aluminum X that they made, but for Series X?
I don't care what they charge for it. I'd buy it.
Yeah, $25,000.
Yep.
If it's a literal chunk of machined aluminum like that,
I'll put it on the house. I'll add it to my mortgage.
you can just put it on the websites tab. We're so rich now.
Yeah. You guys can buy it for me.
Sure. But hey, Rudy, greetings from Germany. If you're going Gamescom, don't be afraid. If you see me wandering around, I'm going to try and wear whatever Xbox Era merch I drag along the holiday to Germany with me. So feel free to make me feel uncomfortable by coming up and saying hello.
But
thank you for joining the Patreon.
But at this point, I will take X-Men Origins Wolverine, going backwards compatible.
Yeah, you love
just.
That game.
Oh God, I love.
And Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 back compatible.
Ultimate Alliance. I wish I had bought those when they got re-released on Xbox One for that small window, just like Deadpool did.
I wanted to. They never went cheap. They were always expensive.
Yeah, I know.
Otherwise, I would have.
I grabbed Deadpool. Deadpool I bought when I got the chance. Even though I've got Deadpool on PlayStation 3, I grabbed it on Xbox One. Yeah. I don't know. I reckon it'd be cool. I reckon there might be a sneaky chance that maybe there's an Xbox studio or a Bethesda studio.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
What?
Because you're doing the thing that you do. You're doing the thing that you do, like when you're like, "Oh, guys, wouldn't it be cool if, like, maybe they'll do like some sort of crossover, like June, and wouldn't it be cool if Monkey Island was crossed with CFEs, and wouldn't it be cool if someone secretly was working on Xbox?" You're doing it like that. It makes me feel like you know something.
What if they had a black Xbox Series S that had 1 terabyte of hard drive space? What if there was a game called 33 Immortals coming out that had 33 player co-op?
Well, that's why I didn't mention. That's why I didn't mention 33 Immortals, because that would have just made it.
Would have been the complete giveaway, wouldn't it?
You can ask Tom Warren. I sent him the list, and 33 Immortals was on there, and so Tom can tell you I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's funny.
There was one thing I'm seeing in chat. There are people asking, like, how come so-and-so didn't get a review code? And I am curious, like, so if a site doesn't normally do reviews, they go on the creator list, and the creator list has their codes going out on at launch. At launch, you get your creator code for, like, streaming and doing other things. So a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't get a review code. It's like, well, if they don't normally do reviews.
I saw a clip of this dude complaining. And
but didn't Skill Up not get a code as well?
He deleted it, so we don't know that now. It could have literally just been they hadn't emailed him yet. It's not always all at the same time. They're different PR companies,
wasn't he?
And it's always like it's never going to go well for you if you complain to a PR company in public, because you might get a bunch of sympathy and people annoyed that you don't get it because they really want to see your content. But it's just going to make the PR company not want to work with you.
The thing is, even if you're being critical, this is the thing. I think this is the difference between trying to be objective and trying to put your opinion across about any product, right? If you're reviewing a game, but YouTubers live in this world where they think it's perfectly okay to be like, this is the most offensive garbage piece of shit, and the devs should all burn in hell. Like, if you're going to say that, yeah, if I was the developer, I'd be like, well, fuck you, buddy. Like, there's a right way to deliver criticism, in my opinion. And we've had it before where we have great relationship with the PR team, and we might have reviewed their last 3 games quite favorably, and then one comes and we're like, oh, yeesh, yikes. But we if we don't tell the truth, if we don't say like, hey guys, like, we're not a big fan of this, then it's not really fair on them either. So yeah, like, what do you expect at this point?
Well,
but I saw that particular guy.
Yeah,
complain.
There's been smaller games that I've reviewed and given a really bad score, and then someone who likes is like, I'm going to complain to them so they never give you a code again. And then the next game they put out, they just send us a code. It's like, it's not as long as you're respectful and you're not being sensationalized and over the top and engagement farming. They know sometimes they've got a stinker. They know sometimes they've got something great. Like, they might be unsure where it's going to go. Like, especially the bigger releases spend a lot of money doing pretty damn accurate mock reviews on stuff. So in the end, there's no benefit for you to go public. Like if someone asks you and you say, I haven't gotten one yet, or so I just don't know, like that's fine. But if you go out there and say, hey, I haven't gotten one, guess I'm not gonna, or you just complain in streams about it, PRs are gonna look at you and be like, just like try and message us and get an answer. And if you don't get an answer,
I've seen a lot of those PR people on Twitter being like, hey,
it was Cammy and
stuff.
Pete
But
Hines from Bethesda were like, oh, especially don't try and get their personal info, their personal emails, their personal phone numbers, and send messages saying, "Hey, can I get on the list?" And it's like, Jesus Christ! Oh my
for
God,
all the shit you two fucks give me for fucking making things
that's
go
the
too
irony
long,
of-
you two haven't shut up for like the last 15
irony
minutes, so I
of
can
it.
move
Well,
on to the next question.
You said you have to go to a thing in half an hour, so I'm gonna find a way. You do it to John every time.
In less than half an hour. John doesn't have to go anywhere.
He has
He's
to
at
go to
home,
sleep.
He's gonna sleep.
Sleep is important. Sleep. Okay, so let's get into sleep.
whatever,
Sleep is a very valuable thing.
Anyway, next question. Next question from another first-time poster.
Sleep is a very valuable thing, and so if you don't get, okay, I want.
He just joined our Patreon, CripplingDet, who we played for on the show last week. A couple of weeks ago. Now, CripplingDet. Hope you're all enjoying the time in Starfield, and that Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't steal too much thunder from it. We're not really playing Baldur's Gate 3, so it doesn't matter. Would be nice if Xbox could win Game of the Year for once. That won't happen. My question is, have any of you spent a good amount of time in State of Decay 2 after 2020, or even more recently with the 33rd update? Seems most content creators haven't touched it since its release, unfortunately. Game is incredible now, and mark my words, when Tiny Squishy shows off the next large trailer for it and people start playing it in anticipation for State of Decay 3, you will hear a lot of praise. Also, Jesse, still very much a fan of you being on camera full time. One day Xbox 2 will get there. State of Decay 2. I noped out when State of Decay 2 became a job. And it was just the second job.
It doesn't have
not interested in that.
But you will be interested now because you can make all the survival and sim stuff easy peasy. You don't have to worry about it. They added difficulty sliders per game mechanic. I don't want the combat too hard. I want the combat very hard. I don't want the survival too hard. I want the survival very hard. Like you can go all the way. You can make that shit as easy as you want. You don't have to worry. You get a couple supply things. You're good for 10 hours. Like they've removed needing it to be a job.
Yeah, Proven on our team. He's a big fan of State of Decay. I think he did like a hey, if you haven't played this recently, like there's a lot that's changed. Maybe like it would have been last year now, probably at this point.
It was a late review, essentially, like a review of the game at that time.
But yeah, I was really excited
good
for it.
I hope 3 is good.
They need to fix the co-op
is
implementation for me to really be on board. Those are the kind of games that I want to enjoy with friends. And if they don't fix that and I'm tethered or I don't progress unless I go back to my own world, I don't want to do it on my own. I want to play with my friends and let us have a world that we collaboratively survive in together. That's what I want. Yeah. So hear me.
Don't forget,
Undead Labs.
That's the game that Phil on our episode said he was excited for.
Very
State
excited
of Decay
for.
3. Singled out State of Decay 3. Episode 100. Go check it out.
Yeah, great episode.
And hopefully he'll repeat that in episode 200.
200.
So
I'll reach out to him.
Getting back to sleep. So if you can't, if John can't get into a REM state. Oh.
Anyway, Jesse, brother, howdy doing, fellas? Well, I've had an interesting week. Had another episode that put me in the hospital for a few days and found out these episodes I've been experiencing are actually seizures. I'm on medication for it now. Just happy to be out of the hospital and having some quality time to playing Starfield. Having some quality time to playing Starfield.
Yeah, he's playing Starfield. He knows not to say anything to anyone, but he's a sounding board for my review. Yeah.
Yep. Everyone will have to wait for Jesse's review for that. My question this week, who here plans on watching Ashoka? I've heard some very encouraging... Yeah, it's Star Wars, yeah? I've heard some very encouraging things. And no, you don't have to have seen Rebels to follow what's going on in that show. Cheers. Well, I'm glad you've got your health stuff under control.
Yeah, it pretty much comes down to, after having the stroke, he can't be on blood thinners, and it's causing those issues, so they're looking into ways to get around the fact because blood thinners would help, but he just then would also not help in other ways. So it's a constant balancing act now.
I read this stuff, especially from an American point of view, and I'm like, oh my god, are you okay financially? Because that's gonna. Like,
he has insurance through work, so
thank God for that. Because like you read this stuff, and you just think, oh well, you're screwed.
Oh, and we also have a well-to-do sister and a well-to-do aunt who have been incredible to help even more.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Because in the US, you catch a cold, you got to mortgage your house.
Man, in the US. There are people that say, don't call an ambulance for me after being hit by a car because that will land them with a bill they can't afford.
It cost when my son had heat stroke at his graduation, it was $1,000 ambulance bill.
That's
his
crazy.
grandpa paid it. Yeah.
It's funny. My blood pressure has been crazy the last 2-3 weeks. Like I've had a headache all the time, and that's what happened like a year and a half ago. And I was like, oh, something's really wrong. And it took a phone call to 111. They rang me back within 24 hours, and I explained it, and I gave them my blood pressure readings, and they just said, okay, we'll send you a new prescription tomorrow. And they've doubled my blood pressure med dose. So now I take 10 milligrams instead of 5. And for 2 days in, my BP went from 160 over 98 or 100, which is quite high, to 130 over 70, which is fine.
My blood pressure's great.
Yeah, you're very.
I went and had a heart test last year because I was having some heart stuff, and the one thing they said to me was, "Man, your blood pressure is like perfection." Don't know how that works, but yes, I have all sorts of weird health issues that I'm not going to get into because they're quite weird and TMI. SelfishxBurrito. Hey guys, another footy question for Nick. Haha, just kidding. Don't leave the chat or anything, but just wanted to say thanks for the answer, Nick. Even though through all the abuse and being shouted down, know that you have value, are loved, and are very, very handsome.
Why do you guys do this and feed this?
Make sure the audio listeners know that the second very is italicized for emphasis. My question this week is actually for Jesse. We don't need to read that then. Hytham G.
Oh,
Jesse, it's well known by now that you're a review machine, and on top of that, you stream a variety of games on the YouTube channel. So smash that bell to get notified of all the content. You're now officially in silly season. Yes, you're now officially in silly season for the amount of embargoes you'll have to hit. But when time allows, what games do you like to play just for yourself? I've seen South Park on your Discord handle before, but maybe that was someone else on your Xbox. Anyway, tell us.
Yeah, that's my daughter who loves South Park. So I own it, so she has to log in on my name to play it on her Series S. Main things I just play myself off stream have it's been a lot of Dave the Diver lately. That game is incredible, and it would be another very high score Nick would get annoyed at if it ever comes to Xbox. So lots and lots of Dave the Diver. It is supposed to come to Switch later this year, and then they want to look at other consoles after that. It is a roguelike. You are a big fat man who swims in the ocean to get fish for a sushi restaurant at night. It kind of sounds weird, but then they add on so many different gameplay mechanics and systems on top of it that all work really well. That game freaking rules, and it's most of what I was playing before I went into Starfield nonstop.
Fair. Good answer.
I hope so. It's truthful.
Hytham G. Man, this question.
I just read this question. What the fuck?
Would you gents dare to rip each other hair off the face and chest with wax or crazy glue, super glue, and super mighty glue for $100? Your gents dare on ripping each other's hair? P.S. Have you gents ever watched Jackass series on the movies and TV? Oh, Jackass. I used to love Jackass. God, that shit was funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is about men and laughing at people hurting themselves.
It's funny though. I watched the most recent one where they're all old
Jackass
and they redo
Forever.
a bunch of stuff. And unlike when I watched it when I was a kid, and I was just guffawing at all the ridiculousness of it. This I was just
found it funny.
Oh, that's not all right. That's not. Oh
yeah.
No.
Still funny.
I was uncomfortable.
Still very funny stuff. Very funny stuff.
Would you like to rip my hair, Nick?
Not for $100.
No,
$100 is not enough to get my hair ripped off.
Hairy chest.
It would. I've got a hairy chest. It would need to be a bit more.
I've got a hairy
I
back.
would be in
I feel sorry
like
for my partner.
$5,000 territory for freaking gluing my
Yeah.
chest to then rip because skin's
Yeah.
going to come with it. It's especially like not like
No.
super glue. You need
Need
a
way more money.
solvent for that. You don't rip that off.
Waxing
You rip
hurts.
off most of the
Waxing
skin.
hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Waxing hurts.
How much to properly Brazilian your gooch?
Yeah, we need to
Who
get
says I
into the
haven't done, who
thousands.
says I haven't done that before?
You probably did that for
Possible I've
love.
done that. Yeah, probably. Abe. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Forza Motorsport has always been the hardcore simulation game, while Horizon has been the casual one. I've never had an interest in racing sim, but the next Forza might change that. My question: what is the best way to play Forza Motorsport? I don't have any of the crazy setups. All I got is a controller. Will that suffice? Or do I need a steering wheel and pedals to get the full experience? I think you should be okay. Like, if you're planning on full on getting into Forza, then maybe make the investment in a wheel setup because it sounds like you like Horizon as well, so it might be worthwhile. And it also means that if you were smart enough to buy Daytona USA before that was delisted, you can play that too. Otherwise, I'm sure a controller's fine because remember, Forza was the one with the rumble triggers.
And I mean, you can
With-
start it. You can start it with a controller. You find yourself really getting into it, and then you look into a possible wheel setup.
Yeah,
And they're called impulse triggers.
They're just, they're designed first and foremost to be played on controller, but they support wheel for those that really want that sim experience. Have to say though, a lot of my mates, they got really into not racing, but for a driving experience. Mud Runner, is it Mud Runner?
Yeah, Mud Runner and Snow Runner.
Snow Runner, yeah, they got hardcore into that because it's like real crazy, like driving. So,
Need for Speed,
It's a
Unbound.
puzzle game. Snow Runner is a puzzle game, and it's really good.
yeah.
Okay. 99 Rukin. We played for him
Haven't
not
seen him
long
for a
ago.
while.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. My question has to do with Embracer. Now that we know who the unknown partner is, why do you think the deal failed? Also, I was listening to Colin Moriarty, and I think he is right. Have Embracer closed the studios before Microsoft buys so they don't look as the bad guys? But my question for that is, which studios would you pick up? I would pick up Gunfire Games and Square Enix Western Division. Well, yeah, I'd just get Crystal and Eidos.
Yeah, we kind of covered it a little bit. I don't know why the deal failed, but I think something to do with the
Embracer
Jesse
doesn't
said
actually
that
make money.
cards. Yeah,
I was about to say, they must have looked at the financials of Embracer and been like, why
Hang
are you
on.
buying all these studios?
yeah.
Like, we've said it. Every time they acquired a new studio, the first thing we said was, on this podcast, what's their end game? Like, what are they doing? Like, it was weird. That's why I kept saying maybe the theory is they want to flip stuff. Maybe they're flippers. Buy low, sell high. So now they paid 300 mil for Crystal Eidos and Tomb Raider, or 600 mil, 300 mil, 600 mil, whatever it was. They could probably sell it to Microsoft for $1 billion or more.
It wasn't a crazy amount of cash. It was a lot of debt they took on.
Debt.
It was like over $1
They
billion
took on a lot of
debt,
debt. Yeah. So maybe Microsoft could just take it off them for $1 billion and a half. And everyone wins then. That's anyway, Crystal. I want Crystal.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider.
Agreed.
John wants
last
Crystal.
question.
Last
Woo.
question.
Last question. And wow, with 5 minutes to spare, even though I think my wife just walked out the door.
Oh dear.
Good old Collingwood. So we're going to have to take 2 cars. Good old Collingwood. Guten
Keep going,
Tag, Jon, Nick, and Jesse. One more question to John before Gamescom. Any place in Cologne you want to see? What German delicacies would you like to eat and drink? What non-gaming activities would you like to do?
That's a good question. I'm going to go see the cathedral, the chocolate museum. I have heard a lot of good things that I've been told basically that other drinks outside of beer don't really exist in Cologne, which is a difficult thing for someone that doesn't really drink. But I'll try a few different beers and see if there's anything that I really like. I think there's several food halls I've been given links to that I'm gonna go to. Yeah, like I think I'm going to avoid a lot of the public days of Gamescom. I'll probably go on the Friday, because I've got some appointments then anyway. But then Saturday and Sunday I'll do a bit of touristy stuff. But I'm not going to opening night live. Like, I didn't bother buying tickets for that. I don't want to go see that show because I don't want to sit through the Keeley ads. Like, I can just watch that and catch up on the news. It's not a problem. I don't have to be forced into a room for 3 hours to watch that stuff
about
live.
sauerkraut.
Yeah, I'll try
sauerkraut.
I'll try everything. I'm not going to say the name of the dish I've been told specifically to try because people will tell me what it is and I've been told to go in blind.
Bratwurst.
But no, I'll give you a clue. That's the clue.
Fist.
Nah, I'm not saying what the word is. That's the clue.
Put a fist up to the camera.
It's Germany, isn't it?
Is there a food called fist?
No, there is not. At least I hope not.
Ludafist.
Ludafist. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much my plans.
Nice.
I'm going to be at FanFest on Wednesday evening, so I'm sure I'll see
you could meet up with Clubril.
I have already had a little chat with my good friend Clubril. I will be taking some time out to catch up with him at some point during the week. So yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really looking forward.
Whenever you meet him, you have to bring him a toilet seat. Custom.
I was just going to bring his book to him, to be honest with you.
Wrapped in a toilet seat.
Wrapped in a toilet seat. Why not? I'm sure he'd love carrying that around Gamescom for the entire time.
Sarah gave Jez a bunch of baked beans.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice of her.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it.
So anyway, that's it.
Jesse, what we got coming to site next week?
I can't say. I can't say what I have coming. I think Immortals of Avium is being worked on by Soul Blazers. That releases next week, I think. I don't remember. Yes. I'm pretty sure it does. That's why you couldn't do it. So we should have coverage for Immortals of Avium. Madden just went up. Madden 24. Another Ride game, I think, is being worked on. I have something. That's about it. We're also working on Sea of Stars. That comes out at the end of the month. We're working on Starfield, which will be everyone knows now. That is about all I can think of off the cuff.
There you go. That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
And we were gonna have a Rumourmill, but Jon and Jesse ruined that, and then my other person told me not to hit the Switch 2 stuff.
Gonna hit the outro.
Sorry, guys. You all wanted a Gears 6 Rumourmill, but
we're the party poopers here.
Sorry, guys. You know,
as always,
for all those people that think it's all for clicks and attention, have a look. Here I am saying, could have had a Gears 6 Rumourmill. Would have got a lot of views, but we're not going to get them now, are we?
No, it's true. But hey,
pretty sure next time I'm playing Rocket League with Jason, though, he'll be. So anyway,